all these fans here. There was some feeling on the part of the chairman, Alec Fenman, that they might not have the whole of that stand filled, and that certainly was dispelled very rapidly. I was there a couple of weeks ago at Starks Park when the queues were all around the stadium looking for tickets for this match, one of the biggest, of course, in the club's history. So the Raith Rovers team has now been confirmed, and there's a likely line-up there without Danny Lennon, who's injured. Davy Kirkwood also left out. It may well be that system of 5-3-2 with a very young midfield trio: Stevie Crawford, Colin Cameron and Jason Dare, with the forwards Neil and Graham providing the experience. Celtic, a very interesting formation. They haven't got Phil O'Donnell or Tosh McKinlay. They're cup-tied. Peter Grant is suspended, and Pat McGinley, of course, transferred to Hibs. So Mike Galloway comes in after missing the last 6 matches for the club, and that may well be the formation, but we'll obviously have to wait and see if Charlie Nicholas plays in that role just behind the front two, who may well be Donnelly and Walker. So the team's about to emerge. They'll come out together, led by the match referee. Well, the two managers, in fact, coming out there. Jimmy Nicholl on the left, Tommy Burns on the right, Gordon Dalziel, the captain of Raith Rovers, Paul McStay, the captain of Celtic. And the moment Kirkcaldy's been waiting for, in particular, for so long, since that dramatic semi-final victory against Airdrie. But for Celtic, tense faces, a match of the utmost importance. Charlie Nicholas generating some enthusiasm. There's little Colin Cameron, the 22-year-old, who will be a big influence on this Raith Rovers side this afternoon. So the welcome tumultuous for both teams, and for these Celtic supporters, the opportunity to end the famine which has lasted 5.5 years. Raith Rovers last in a final in 1949 when they lost 2-0 to Rangers. So a tremendous reception for the Raith Rovers players from these supporters across from us. The match officials make their way to the centre. The teams finalise the preparations with their last-minute warm-up, and the sense of anticipation is obvious all around us here. Always something special about a match involving a lower division side in a final. There's Charlie Nicholas, who may well play in a very key role for Celtic this afternoon, supporting the front two, who are likely to be Simon Donnelly and Andy Walker. That's what we anticipate may happen, but that'll become clear after 2 or 3 minutes. The referee is Jim McCluskey from Stewarton, who handled the match between Rangers and Hibs in the final last season, also handled Rangers and Celtic in the final in 1990, and he's now doing his 3rd final, the League Cup, in the 3rd venue. Hampden first of all, then Celtic Park last year, and now, of course, at Ibrox. So Paul McStay comes to the centre, determined to end his lengthy spell as Celtic captain without a trophy. Gordon Dalziel, who's made that magnificent comeback, having virtually given the game up at the age of 24 after starting out with a bang at Rangers, then going to Manchester City and then to Partick Thistle. So the decision to be taken is which way to play. Well, tremendous support coming from all ends of the stadium, and really a final to savour. And the man who led Celtic to the last trophy win was the man beside me this afternoon, Billy McNeil. Great atmosphere, Billy.
Yes, the atmosphere is absolutely marvellous, and looking at it, I think both teams look a bit tense at the minute, but it's amazing how when the whistle goes, they start to relax a bit and start to play, and I think we're going to be in for a very interesting final.
So the tension still around for the players. They'll be very anxious to get underway. Referee Jim McCluskey there. Charlie Nicholas, incidentally, has won League Cup medals already for Celtic, for Aberdeen and for Arsenal. And there's Ali Graham, who is the leading goal scorer in the Coca-Cola Cup this season with 5 goals. Special sponsors prize if he can retain that title. So Celtic get the Coca-Cola Cup final underway, and we already have established that both sides depending on a sweeper system. David Neary at the back for Raith Rovers. So the early stages crucial for both sides. Celtic in particular anxious to stamp their authority on the match, and for Raith Rovers it's more a case of trying to settle into this big occasion. Colin Cameron in the heart of the midfield. Graham's first contribution. There's Tom Boyd. Brian O'Neill at the back there for Celtic. On the far side is Mike Galloway. Only starting wide on the right there. That's very good play in the middle of the field there. Stevie Crawford going for a run. And brought down there at the edge of the area by Tony Mowbray. The referee goes across. Now, his view of that is very interesting, because he could really have caused a problem there for Tony Mowbray. Stevie Crawford's pace causing all the problems here.
Well, there's no lack of confidence about that run in actual fact, and maybe Tony Mowbray can count himself lucky not to have his name in the book, but an interesting and a confident start for Raith Rovers.
And they sent Sean Dennis up for this set piece, and with Ali Graham, he provides a very big threat. Good shot there from Cameron, and despite the big men being up, Raith Rovers showing their ability and a variation in the play with that short free kick for Cameron shot at goal.
It's a nice variation on the free kick, and it's a confident start for Raith Rovers. I don't think Gord Marshall was ever in any trouble, but all credit to Raith, they've started nicely.
Paul McStay's hit flick on. Here's Charlie Nicholas playing in the hole behind the front two, as we suspected. And Scott Thompson be very careful there going to the edge of his penalty area. Remember, ordered off in the semi-final against Airdrie for handball outside the area. Mistake he's unlikely to repeat. Graham's header. There's Collins. Jason Dare battling hard in the middle of the field, the 20-year-old. It's back with McInnesby. Biel dropping off wide on the right. Good running forward by Cameron. Such a live little central midfield player. And they carry the ball out under pressure there from Brian O'Neill. Very interesting tactical formations though, Billy.
Well, that's right. It's both teams are playing very, very similar system, and from Celtic's point of view, I think that Tommy Burns has done that to give Nicholas just a little bit of space behind the front two. They'll spread a little bit. Hopefully he'll be able to get passes to them, but they'll be looking for wood to come from Tommy Boyd and Mike Galloway. And if you look at Raith Rovers, they're not all that dissimilar, with young McInnesby on one side, Julian Broadlow on the other, and the three young midfield players.
David Sinclair's header helped on there by McInnesby. This is Collins playing in a more central role where he normally likes to play. Andy Walker's pass, a misunderstanding there with Mike Galloway. So confirmation that Raith Rovers are playing with David Neary in the sweeper role. Two markers, Sean Dennis and David Sinclair, who are on Simon Donnelly and Andy Walker. Stephen McInnesby and Julian Broadlow wide on the flanks. Three in the middle, Jason Dare, Colin Cameron and Stevie Crawford. Gordon Dalziel and Ali Graham up front. This is Graham. Now Dalziel on the flank. His marker is Mark McNally. McInnesby's pass was a little bit casual. Strong play there by Donnelly, holding off Dennis. This is Boyd. Running at David Neary. That's for Donnelly. And Colin Cameron came a long way back to make that challenge. There's O'Neill. Semi-final hero with that winning header against Aberdeen. And now Collins away from Dare. Donnelly takes over. This is Boyd. And Mike Galloway's header was slipped there by Julian Broadlow, which gave Galloway a clear opening there.
It's good play from Celtic, good confident play. They made a lot of passes. Mike Galloway enjoys that freedom, gets himself into the box, and I think we'll be seeing more of that, because obviously at the minute I think the Celtic system is slightly different from Raith Rovers in the sense that they're playing from the back. Raith Rovers are more anxious just to get that ball away from the penalty area.
So the long ball from Tom Boyd goes behind for the goal kick. Confirmation of the Celtic formation. Tony Mowbray is the direct opponent for Ali Graham. McNally is on Gordon Dalziel. Brian O'Neill is sweeper. Four in the middle now, Galloway on the right, McStay, Collins in the centre, Boyd on the left. The front two of Donnelly and Walker, supported from that deeper role in the centre by Charlie Nicholas. Graham's header, that's DL. Crawford playing into space here for Dare. Clearance from Boyd. Bit of a push there by Dennis. Well, no sign of any inferiority complex in these Raith Rovers ranks in the early stages. And no sign either, they're here to make up the numbers. Thompson's clearance. That's DL. Left that to Crawford, allowing Galloway to step in. Now we have Collins for Celtic. McStay's head up. O'Neill very accurate there, finding Mike Galloway. Well, the sides depending on their full-backs to give them width. Tom Boyd coming back here to collect and hold off McInnesby. It's good hustling play by young McInnesby. Cameron was tackled there swiftly by Paul McStay, but Raith Rovers enjoying some very good early possession. Cameron very much involved in the play. Here's DL. Cross it comes to Crawford. Well read by Mowbray. The counter-attack now on for Celtic. Led by McStay. Walker to the left. Tackle came from Crawford. It's a free kick to Celtic. Surging play there from Paul McStay. Highly motivated.
It's a good surging run, but I think perhaps you just overran it just a little bit. They allowed the challenge to come in there. And I think it may well have been better had he laid a pass off to one of his forwards who had broken in front of him.
Perhaps a shade too far out, although John Collins and Charlie Nicholas are experts from these free kicks. Very well held by Thompson. A kind of confident catch to give a lot of confidence to his defenders.
Well, John Collins hits a good free kick, but really all I think that achieves is really building up the confidence in the goalkeeper. He'll be happy he's had the touches early just in the game.
This is Walker, beaten to that by Sinclair. Lay off from DL, not quite what he intended, but Dennis plays it through the gap. Well, a huge problem in recent weeks for Celtic has been to find some penetration. They've had 5 blank sheets in the last 8 matches, and that's a matter of great concern. So an attempt made this afternoon with his new striking formation. Change things. And Mowbray trying to get back to full fitness. Clearance there was a good one again by Mowbray. McInnesby was quick. Very good play by Jason Dare, and a bad tackle. He's in trouble, the young Raith Rovers player. Well, both players feeling this all right, and look at the way Jason Dare steps away from John Collins, then takes that clumsy late challenge. Both players requiring treatment here.
I think both players have hurt, are equally hurt there in actual fact, but John Collins I think went to check out with the challenge, but I think the slippiness of the ground that caused him to make impact, and I think it's a 50-50 situation.
So set piece for Raith Rovers. Sean Dennis there with Ali Graham again. Crawford flights it in. Won by Graham. Gordon Marshall under pressure there. He was fouled. Sean Dennis imposing his substantial physique on the goalkeeper. The free kick's been taken already. Celtic are well upfield here.
It's a typical challenge you would expect on a goalkeeper early in the game.
Paul McStay's pass deflected there by Cameron. Ball throw given, and Raith Rovers have possession again. By Galloway, the man caught out there. Wants some diagonal running, cross running from the front men for the throw. Here's Graham. Matched up physically there by Mowbray. Galloway helps it on. That's Neri. Well, Graham wanted a free kick there for the challenge made by Mowbray. Walker caught late by Dennis. The advantage rule applied with Celtic in possession. Good refereeing there. Another sore one taken by Boyd from McInnesby. McStay to Nicholas. Here's McStay again. Boyd's on the left. Stumble there by McStay. The wrong moment for Celtic. Good positioning here by Cameron. Here's McInnesby. Header by Graham is a good one. Here's Jason Dare. Well, normally can be expected to deliver a much better cross than that. One of the two 20-year-olds in this Raith Rovers midfield. Jason Dare, along with Stevie Crawford. Colin Cameron, only 22. Sinclair's header. Good play by Cameron once again. Broddle looking for a run from DL up front. Brian O'Neill standing on the no ceremony. How big a risk is it for Celtic, Billy, to have this massive change in the formation for a cup final?
Well, I think Tommy Woods obviously want to do something unexpected, and they haven't been producing results. And I think what he's tried to do is just to give freedom, a bit more freedom to John Paul McStay, and to give Charlie Nicholas the right to go anywhere he wishes behind his front players. And I think it's really just to try and open up the play and to give the opportunity to put better passes to his front players.
But so far, Raith Rovers proving to be genuine contenders for this trophy. Here's Nicholas, screening a ball, or Walker rather. Nicholas supporting. Walker couldn't get the crossover. It was Julian Broddle who was swiftly to the danger point. Andy Walker trying very hard indeed. This last goal was against Motherwell in the league, beginning of October. Donnelly back with McStay. O'Neill springing from the back. It's one extra dimension he can add to the Celtic build-up. O'Neill running out of ideas rather in the middle of the field there. Celtic. DL with McNally. Cameron to Graham. Off goes DL again. Well, he began his career here as a youngster with Rangers, won a League Cup Winners' Medal in 1981 and moved on to Manchester City. But things went sour after that and rescued effectively by the Celtic reserve team manager Frank Connor when he was manager of Raith Rovers. David Neary's clearance. He's won this trophy twice as a Dundee United player. Nicholas in that roving commission. Here's O'Neill looking for Boyd, who's been clearly instructed to play far forward here on the left. McNally to Boyd. Good control from McStay. And McNally taking no chances. Possession important here to Celtic. That's Mowbray. Strong defending there by Sinclair.
I think the thing that has impressed me early in the game is that Raith Rovers' concentration is good. In that system, it's important that the two markers mark, the sweeper's able to sweep, and the midfield players working, harassing. They're doing that well just now.
a blatant body check there by David Sinclair on Mike Galloway. Well, they're totally uncompromising character, Sinclair.
Yeah, I don't think he can have any cause for complaints here. No, in actual fact, perhaps the referee's been that little bit lenient once again.
25-year-old local man, David Sinclair. There's the free kick, looking there for Mowbray, who's doing a little bit of wrestling with Dennis. Free kick is given to Raith Rovers inside their own area. Tony Mowbray anxious to add to the goal tally. He's achieved this season 1 against Dundee United.
I think we're going to see more of this challenge because there are a couple of real uncompromising characters, those two, and obviously in a game of this importance, they'll be up there trying to get something.
Mowbray doing well against Graham. Here's McStay trying to impose himself in the centre of the field, that vital area. In goes Dennis. Good running there by Donnelly. Away from Dennis. Here's Sinclair. Collins to McStay. Playing that over the top, looking for a run from Andy Walker. But Celtic still finding it very difficult indeed to play good passes to the front men.
I think that's a backhanded compliment to Raith in actual fact. The three young midfield players, they've all dug in there and they're making life awkward for the Celtic midfield players. One thing that has impressed me about the Celtic front two is they're prepared to split and make the opportunity passes easier.
Delightful play from Nicholas. An interception made by David Neary from Galloway's cross. That was great play from Celtic in the build-up and excellent defending. Waddle's clearance, forcing McNally to head that into touch. But some really excellent football there, inspired by Charlie Nicholas for Celtic.
Well, he can certainly pass the ball, and if Raith Rovers give him that little bit of space, then he'll take advantage of it.
There goes Cameron. Oh, that's good running. Chance on here for Raith Rovers. Superb effort by Cameron. He brought the Govan stand to life. The Raith Rovers supporters responding magnificently to this.
Yeah, he's got tremendous confidence in his ability, and he's not all that far off the target, and obviously that's the type of thing that Celtic will have to watch out for, because he's good at breaking from that deep midfield role and get beyond the opposing defenders.
Well, Tommy Barnes before the match insisted there was no possibility of Celtic underestimating their opponents, and it's just as well, because it's turning out to be a splendid final. And this man's made such a telling contribution already. Cameron looking for the return pass. There's Dare, and very good cover provided by Tom Boyd. Jason Dare had a glimpse of goal there until Boyd arrived.
Yeah, once again, the instigators, young Colin Cameron, he's playing against Charlie Nicholas, but when he gets the ball, Raith getting possession, he's prepared to break away from him.
First corner for Raith Rovers. Here's Crawford, a chance! It's the only goal for Raith Rovers! Stevie Crawford! And the Raith Rovers fans go wild. It's been a magnificent start to the match from Raith Rovers, capped by that goal from Stevie Crawford.
No Celtic defender gets in a positive tackle, but that's not to take it away from young Stevie Crawford, because he kept his head, knew what he wanted. Oh, and he hits a smacker right in the bottom of the net. This is really going to liven up this game now.
Well, Steve Crawford's 6th goal of the season. Here's Tom Boyd trying to respond quickly for Celtic. Now it's Collins. Out of luck there, slipping in to try to play it across. Well, the goal coming after 19 minutes. And from the neutral point of view, the kind of opening to the match I think a lot of people are hoping for, because Celtic now have a mountain to climb, and Raith Rovers will be fired full of confidence. The bench below is there erupting when that ball hit the net. Jimmy Nicholl leading the charge. behind Donnelly. Nicholas couldn't get on the end of that. O'Neill playing it safe, as you might expect. That's good play by Marshall. Space for Celtic to come forward. McInnesby did well. Here's the goal scorer. Tackled firmly by Collins. Jimmy Nicholl there with Martin Harvey on the left.
You know, when you see this, Stevie Crawford does really well. I thought it was a missed time tackle, but it's a good bit of skill from the young lad. And he knows what he's after, and he achieves it brilliantly.
Such a clean strike of the ball from Stevie Crawford. Crisply off the laces, and left Gordon Marshall without any real hope of saving that. Well, the Celtic have certainly responded. They either will be inspired to greater effort, or the heads may go down. It looks as though it is a question of lifting their game. That'll be a corner. Came off McInnesby. So the corner kick to Celtic. Two defenders have gone out, they've got to stay 10 yards back. There's Nicholas now with the cross to the near post area. And David Sinclair was there. Tommy Bonds retrieving the ball very quickly there down below us for Celtic. Not going to script at the moment, this match, for Tommy Bonds. O'Neill, Nicholas. Good running by McStay. Well, he created a very good position there for a shot at goal. Well, a lot resting on his shoulders in this match now, the Celtic captain.
Yeah, it's a good interchange of passes, but Paul really hasn't set himself up for that shot, and really it was always going to be difficult to hit the target from that angle.
Gordon Dalziel holding off two tough challenges, one from McNally, then one from Mowbray. Determined work there by Paul McStay. Always willing to carry out the unglamorous work as well as the creative stuff. Here's O'Neill. Boyd did well. Good running by Walker also. Nicholas busy in the middle of the field there. This is Collins. Turned away there off the boot of Stevie Crawford. It's another corner kick to Celtic. It's a very important phase in the match, this, for Raith Rovers. They'll want to settle on this lead for as long as they can and break the spirit of Celtic. Ali Graham right on the goal line, the centre forward, defending for Raith Rovers. Difficult for the keeper. No infringement there. The referee right on the spot. Here's Nicholas again, trying to make room for the cross. Has to settle for the corner again now. Well, you have the feeling here this is a crucial phase in the game.
Well, this is a time when the goalkeeper's got to do his business. He gets his hands set. Mind you, most times I think that might well have been a foul.
Referee Jim McCluskey couldn't have been closer to the play. Here's Charlie Nicholas. They'll try again here. Celtic for the moment persisting with near post corners. Collins comes short. Only one defender out. Crawford arrived late. Here's Collins. Headed away by Graham. Stay has helped wide from Donnelly. That's a good pass. Walker. Deflection there, and good handling by Scott Thompson.
Celtic are now turning the screw. The defence always took it past the goalkeeper there, but this is a time when really Raith Rovers have got to work hard to maintain the lead and to ensure that Celtic don't get upper.
There's Nicholas again, looking for the pace of Boyd on the flank. Sean Dennis provides the cover. That's Collins with O'Neill. That's good play by O'Neill. Tripped by Graham. Apology offered by the big striker.
Yeah, I think once again the referee's been very lenient. Maybe it's because it's a Sunday match.
Yes, he certainly could have had that yellow card out had he been in more officious mood. Paul McStade battling hard in the middle of the field, leading by example. Graham's layoff, that was Cameron, forced to hurry by Donnelly. Now Galloway. Well, another player going down on this Ibrox surface. A number of players have found occasional difficulties with that. And certainly have one or two slips again in this match this afternoon. The pitch does look in good order after that match on Friday evening in the league, Rangers against Aberdeen. That's McStay, that's for Boyd, a great pass. McInnesby's quick though, it's a great chance now for Celtic. Blocked there by Dennis, the shot from Charlie Nicholas, who thought the hand was used by Dennis. Referee McCluskey not interested.
It's a real opportunity because of Tommy Boyd's positions down that left-hand side, but there was a chance to get a shot on target, but you've got to compliment the defenders because they got to the ball when it was on and blocked it. But this pitch definitely has a problem, I think. So many players are slipping.
Concern for Tommy Burns. Brian O'Neill has to be careful here. Showing good understanding with Gordon Marshall. This is Walker. Just out of reach for Boyd. Going through a lean time, Andy Walker, in a scoring sense. But showing a lot of willingness here in this match. That's a good challenge by Mowbray. Well, tactically, Billy, Raith Rovers seem to have things pretty well in hand.
Well, they're working very hard to keep the upper hand just at the minute. But what I think Celtic have got real chances now is Tommy Boyd is prepared to break in this left-hand side. And if they can start picking out those passes, they'll make life very awkward for Raith Rovers and the young fullback McInnesby. But, you know, he seems to be keen to get forward, and there's a big bit of space down that left-hand side.
Dennis should always win that kind of ball from Andy Walker. It's in the air. Yes, developing into a key contest this. Tom Boyd against Stephen McInnesby. The angle cross in, Thompson comes to collect. It was Mike Galloway who was flying in there, trying to get on the end of that. He's showing plenty of appetite for the play too.
Yeah, goalkeeper does well here because he comes, he keeps his eye on the ball, takes it comfortably, no problems there.
Mowbray with Graham, that's a very interesting contest too. There's Cameron. Dare on his right-hand side. Well, a natural wide player, Jason Dare. McInnesby behind. Well, little Colin Cameron got his head to that. Graham no doubt was the target, but Cameron again showing his willingness to work penalty box to penalty box.
It's a real interesting area because the midfield players are prepared to break forward. Here we see it. It's a ball into the middle, which really your centre-back should be dealing with, but the header's innocuous, but it's always a threat and always a warning.
Break of the ball going for Raith Rovers again. They have the throw. Clearance by Broddle. Boyd couldn't get that time properly, so here's McInnesby, son of the Stranraer manager, Eric McInnesby, and looking in sprightly form. Good block there by Collins. Here's Boyd. Donnelly's on the outside. Cross comes Neary. Boyd again, a fine pass. Determined play by young Simon Donnelly. He's done well to retain possession. That's McStay. Look at the way he's hounded though by Cameron. Now Collins. Donnelly again. Celtic probing, showing patience, looking for the openings. Walker. Collins. Excellent goalkeeping. Great move by Celtic. But credit due to Scott Thompson. His positioning was quite outstanding.
Yeah, John Collins has worked the move well. When he gets a return pass from Andy Walker, he hits a good shot, but you know, you've got to compliment the goalkeeper on his positioning because it makes the save look easy.
A clash there, Mowbray and Graham. It's a free kick to Raith Rovers. Well, you'd be in that position, Billy, coping with very tall centre forwards. What's the special difficulty?
Their height. But no, seriously though, the worrying thing in the modern day game is that if you're too ambitious in what you want to do, you're always going to get penalised, and one or two false and rash challenges can put your name in the book or indeed get you sent off, and it is a problem.
Well, here's Stevie Crawford again, the goal scorer. In goes McNally, he did well there. That's good play from Celtic. Vintage McStay. Here's Boyd. Chance to run at McInnesby. It's off the post from Tom Boyd. Well, Raith Rovers for the moment riding the luck. Here's Boyd again. Showing his amazing stamina and running power already, Boyd. Another chance on this time, must be the equaliser! It's Andy Walker for Celtic. The goal's been coming. 32 minutes of the first half gone, and Celtic get the goal they deserve.
Yeah, you can see this coming up, and once again, it's Galloway's courageous enough to get in the middle. Good sensible header, and there's Andy Walker in a position where all strikers, good strikers, should be. But here we see once again Tommy Boyd right in the midst of all this. Good swinging ball right into the middle there, and there's Andy Walker to dispatch it. But good adventurous play by Celtic, and really you can see that goal coming over the last 4 or 5 minutes.
And question marks about Celtic's courage and spirit answered in this comeback. There was Tom Boyd, who's just hit the post, remember. And look at the part played here by Mike Galloway. A very intelligent header. And Andy Walker in perfect position. Well, there were some thoughts that the Celtic heads could go down if they lost an early goal. And that certainly hasn't been the case.
No, most certainly not. They've really worked very hard to get themselves back into the game. Both Paul McStay and John Collins worked hard to get control of that midfield. It's difficult for them, but Tommy Boyd in particular has been prepared to sacrifice himself, break forward, to get into good space, and lo and behold, he was unlucky not to score, but provided the cross that got the breakthrough.
Boyd again. That's cleared by Dennis. Andy Walker will be thoroughly relieved. It's his 5th goal of the season. He scored 4 of them early on. A chance on here. Cross goes Neri. Well, those 58-year-old legs still with plenty of spring. He was quick across there. Andy Walker. First goal since early October against Motherwell. The long barren spell comes to an end. Well, Paul McStay there trying very hard to make something out of very little in that byline. Joy now for these Celtic supporters. A very difficult start to the match with Raith Rovers seizing the initiative and the opening goal. Marvellous setting. It's helped on by Broddle. That's McNally. O'Neill playing it along. Chase on here for Andy Walker. Forcing Neri to play the ball out. Andy Walker, inspired, and no doubt, by that goal, and looking to be on the ball as often as possible now. Ruddle's clearance. Mowbray doing well against Graham. This is Collins. Donnelly hugging a left touchline for the moment. Boyd well forward once again, turning out to be a key man for Celtic, Tommy Boyd. Here's Donnelly, Nicholas, Donnelly again. The ball bobbling there as he moved on to it at the edge of the area. There's Cameron. Sliced the ball forward and looking for Gordon Dalziel. Well, the singing now coming from three sides of the stadium here. Celtic with more than 30,000 supporters. Here's Walker. Galloway well forward. Good block there by Neri. Nicholas doing well, going to the byline. Got cleared by Jason Dare, but that's a careless pass. The pressure remains on this Raith Rovers defence. Celtic are the bit between the teeth, no question about that. Down goes. Well, David Sinclair going to offer an apology there, which will be of no consolation at all to Paul McStay.
Yeah, it looks like an awkward challenge in actual fact. You know, you see Paul there. I really don't think that David Sinclair tried to, or indeed was much of a foul, but it will certainly be sore anyway.
Check the teeth for Paul McStay. He's actually off the field, Paul McStay. Back on now as that ball's put across, and McInnesby doing well to head the ball to safety. Well, the Celtic supporters clearly believe the team is on the way to win the trophy. That's Donnelly. Well tackled by David Neri. Look at the way he stood up there. No diving challenge. He stood up and kept his eye on the ball. Top class defending. Boyd. Walker wants to find him with a return pass. McInnesby, though, is alive to that and has played the ball against Boyd for the goal kick. Well, David Neri, 38 years old. Left Dundee United this summer, and it looked as though his career may be over, but he really has shown the benefit of maintaining fitness and the kind of lifestyle which will let him play towards his 40th birthday. Jimmy Nicholl concerned, no doubt now, especially as Scott Thompson has to leave his area for this clearance. Ball still in play. That's Collins. Great play from John Collins. Pass cut off by Dennis. Boyd to McStay. The return pass attempted by Walker. McStay's well out of position now as Cameron breaks. Ruddle is well forward. Donnelly. Now Galloway. Breaks off Ruddle. Well, it's a cup final to relish, Billy.
Yes, it's been full of excitement and entertainment, and the interesting thing now is whether or not Raith Rovers can stand up to the pressure that Celtic are going to exert on them between now and half-time, because they've made a smashing start to the game. Celtic, in all fairness, have got themselves into the game by hard work and skill and endeavour. And it'll be interesting to see if David Neri, John Dennison and David Sinclair can stand up to the pressure that's going to be exerted on them.
Yeah, it's a very important phase in the play, this now. Tommy Byrne down below is very agitated, offering instructions to his players from this track below us. But I think Jimmy Nicholl will be hoping that his team can survive this spell of pressure, get to half-time so he can reorganise them, sort them out for the second half. Quick free kick controlled beautifully by Nicholas. That's for Donnelly. Ball gathering pace off the surface. And once again, Tommy Burns is out below us, screaming instructions onto the field. Well, he's worked very hard indeed throughout this first half, Tommy Burns.
Well, one area that they've used very successfully is that area wide of the two marking players at the back, because Celtic's front two and Simon Donnelly and Andy Walker have worked very hard to take the markers away from that area to leave Stephen McInnesby and Julian Broad a little bit isolated, so that Mike Galloway and Tommy Boyd can get in there behind them, and they've done that successfully. They got the first goal out of that move.
Another slip there by Scott Thompson when there was really no difficulty at all. Mowbray's timing was good. Header on there by DL. That's Galloway. Deary did well under pressure from Nicholas. Here's Brian O'Neill. Good run in the flank here. Andy Walker, tackled well by Neri. Well, his experience now being called upon more and more often to hold up this Raith Rovers defence. A packed 6-yard box. Charlie Nicholas over the ball. Dennis there with Mowbray. Dennis again. That was Galloway. In goes McStay, picking out Nicholas for the header. Careless one by Thompson. He's given that straight to Boyd. Here's Donnelly now, a chance to go inside. Well, tried to pick out the run made by Collins. Well, that's magnificent play by McStay. The anticipation was remarkable there, realising exactly where the tackle had to be made. There's McInnesby down. Nicholas is onside. And Simon Donnelly attacking the near post area. It's gone for a goal kick. Well, I think his indication there was he believes it was a corner.
Well, he's really fired up, the young man, isn't he? And good ball in from Charlie Nicholas, and Simon Donnelly does well going across the front of the defender. Just maybe a bit unfortunate, didn't get a proper connection on the ball.
There's Boyd with a header. McInnesby lofting it away. Cleared by Neri. McStay's pass blocked by Jim McCluskey, the referee, who apologises instantly. Here's Julian Broadell now, the left back for Raith Rovers. Boyd trying to get the ball forward early. Neri put under pressure there by Walker. That's Cameron, nowhere else to go except back to his goalkeeper. Well, a game which has never let up right from the start. Virtually no stoppages in the game either, so there won't be much time to add on at the end of the first period, although Celtic wouldn't want the game to end, I don't think. At this stage, they'll not want the break. And the effort there came from Paul McStay, who really has had an inspiring first half for Celtic. He's worked incredibly hard.
Yes, he's really knuckled down to it, and there's a good ball in once again, almost in behind the fullback. But look at McStay there, prepared to take the shot. Goalkeeper's wrong-footed there, but just past the post. But he's picking up that space just on the edge of the box. Anything that comes out, he's going to capture it.
Collins first to the ball. Now it's Nicholas. Wanted Donnelly, I think, to continue a run to the flank there. It's turned away by Neri and offered to Tom Boyd instantly by Tommy Burns. A little jack in the box below us. That's Boyd. Turned away by Broddle. Collins linking with Boyd. In goes Neary. Boyd again. Tireless performance in this first half. So we're into stoppage time now, at the end of the first half. There's not much of that. Celtic looking for a second goal. The header away was by Dennis. It'll be returned quickly by McNally. That was deflected by DL, but safely into the arms of Scott Thompson. Well, it's been a rousing first half, with Raith Rovers deserving immense credit for the way in which they picked up the game at the start. And referee Jim McCluskey brings that excellent spell of entertainment to a close. It's been a great cup final so far, with the opening goal coming from Stevie Crawford in 19 minutes. A crisply struck shot from just inside the penalty area. But then Celtic came back and hit Raith Rovers with everything to enable Andy Walker to head home the equaliser in 32 minutes. Equaliser which is certainly deserved at that stage of the match. Raith Rovers having to hang on a bit towards half-time. Billy, how do you make of the first half?
Yes, all credit to Raith Rovers. They started off with that goal, a very good goal it was, but I think you've got to then compliment Celtic's midfield, in particular Paul McStay, because they really worked very, very hard to get control of that area. They started getting the front players running in front of them. He started to dictate the game, but tremendous runs by Tommy Boyd down one side, Mike Galloway down the other, and really at the end of the day it was that particular move that created the goal for them. And I think it's been a smashing first half, and I have the feeling we're in for a lot more excitement in this second half.
Yes indeed, an excellent first half, the Coca-Cola Cup final. More excitement, I've no doubt, to come before the end, and we'll look forward to you rejoining us shortly. But for now, back with Dougie Donnelly in the studio.
Yes, thanks very much indeed, Jock. Enthralling first half. And Jimmy Nicholl said before the game, in fact, Craig, that his only real concern was that his young players might freeze on the big occasion. That certainly didn't happen, did it?
Certainly didn't. I thought they started fantastically well. Young Stevie Crawford had a great run, cruelly blocked by Mowbray, and I thought Mickey Cameron's been outstanding. He's been up, great runs forward, he's been at defence tackling, and he's been unlucky on great shot.
And yet it really has been a half of two halves, if I can put it that way, Ali, because Celtic came back in terrifically well.
Yeah, as you said, the game started, Raith came out and played very, very well, and they took the lead deservedly, and a good goal it was too. But ever since they scored, Celtic have dominated the match, and for me, Paul McStay's been outstanding. It
has been, hasn't he? And John Collins has perhaps had more of the limelight this season. He's been Celtic's outstanding player, but McStay's been really terrific, hasn't he?
He really has. He's been outstanding, and he's been leading by example, because it was very, very important for Celtic when they lost the goal that their heads didn't go down.
That's
and
right.
Paul McStay didn't allow them to do that, and as I said, he's been leading by example. They scored a good goal deservedly, back in level terms, and I think we're looking forward to the second half.
Certainly. Well, let's take a look then at that opening goal then, scored after 19 minutes by Stevie Crawford for Raith Rovers. Colin Cameron just before that, of course, had given notice that Raith Rovers really were in charge at that stage of the game, Craig, hadn't they?
Certainly. Mickey been bombing forward, great surging runs, and he's been Raith's most dangerous player.
I think the first 20 minutes Colin Cameron was outstanding. The two midfield players have ruled it. I think the first half it was Colin Cameron for Raith and obviously McStay in the second period of the first half.
Very young midfield, in fact, Craig, isn't it? I mean, Colin Cameron's only 22, the other two are only 20. They're coming out on an occasion like this, they're not at all overawed.
No, they started very well. I'm disappointed in Jason Dare. I think he can get more into the game, but they've got Ian Redford on the bench if they need a wee bit of experience to come on and slot in there.
Let's take a look then at that goal then. As I say, it came after 19 minutes. It sent the Raith fans into raptures over on the Govan stand, and a well-taken goal, obviously, Craig.
Super. Stevie Crawford just got the break of the ball. It went through McNally's legs, and a great strike. Keeper was obviously unsighted, and great finish.
From a Celtic point of view, Ali, of course, the break went against them, didn't it?
That's right. I think, as Craig said, went through somebody's legs there initially, and I think the shot even went through somebody's legs. I think it might have been in Neil's legs at the end there, but I mean, he took it really well. He kept it down, and the goalkeeper was unsighted. Gordon Marshall saw it very, very late, but he stuck it away very well. It was a good finish.
Yeah. The key, perhaps, to Celtic's revival maybe lay in the fact that Tom Boyd began to cause some damage down the left, didn't he?
That's right. It's a funny position for McInnesby to pick up. Boyd sitting deep, making forward runs, but I thought McStay led by captain's example, and he's been willing them all on.
And yet, at that stage of the game, there wasn't much penetration about the Celtic front line, which, as you said before the game, has obviously been their problem.
That's what I was saying, Doug. It was very important they scored when they did, because they didn't, up until they lost the goal, they hadn't looked like scoring at all. They weren't creating any chances. There was nothing flashing across the box. There was the one chance, I think John Collins had a good shot with his right foot, but up until then they hadn't been looking very dangerous at all. Having said that, now that they've got the goal and look a different team, they play with a lot of confidence. Andy Walker's wanting to shoot every time he gets the ball now, which is a good thing from a forwards point of view. And I said it's a different Celtic half in the second period of the first half.
Yeah, let's take a look then at that. Just before the goal, in fact, Tom Boyd making headway down the left, and a lovely shot here, which very nearly brought the equaliser, Craig, didn't it?
That's right. McInnesby just sits a touch too far off him, cuts in, and unleashes a great shot. Keeper obviously had no chance, and suddenly then you're thinking Celtic look like they're going to score here, and then the next break I think they get the goal.
That's right, Tom Boyd again.
Good cross in, and
It's a great header.
I think Davy Neri will be kicking his cell. He just let Andy Walker drift off him, and had a great chance to equalise.
Got a lot of credit got to be given to obviously Boyd for the initial cross, but Mike Galloway does ever so well at the back post here. And I think he catches Andy Walker at the corner of his eye and knocks it back across to him.
If you just see Andy peeling off here, Davy Neri, and he's obviously praying for it to come across the box.
Good header. And Andy
luckily
sticks
enough,
it away.
sticks it away.
That'll do his confidence a world of good, because as the boys were saying upstairs, they haven't been creating a lot of chances, and it's his first goal for a while, but he took it well.
And of course, from that point on, really Celtic dominated, but credit to Raith Rovers, Craig, because a second goal for Celtic, and you'd have had to have said, well, it's really going their way, but we're still poised at one each.
That's right. They've when they got the first goal, I think they've up until then they dominated, but Celtic have just plodded away. But another half, they've got to go out there, work hard from the kick-off, and who knows?
All right, well, let's look forward to live coverage of the second half. But before we do, let's remind you that a week from now, we'll all be at the Marriott Hotel in Glasgow for our live review of the Scottish Sporting Year, Sports Scene 94, culminating, of course, with the award of the Pinnacle Trophy to the sportsman or woman you vote as our Personality of the Year. Still a week for you to do so. Let's remind you of some of the major contenders for this year's award. Just some of the contenders. You can, of course, vote for someone else entirely. Do so by dialing 0891 88 1994, 0891 88 1994. Or, of course, you can vote by post by dropping us your nomination to the usual address at Queen Margaret Drive in Glasgow, G12 8DG. So one assumes, Ali, that the first 15 minutes of the second half is going to be crucial to the outcome of this final.
As always, I was going to make the point, it's very important for Raith Rovers that they didn't lose another goal when Celtic were dominating the match there. And they've held on, they've won at half-time, it's a draw, it's level pegging again, and it's an interesting 45 minutes. If they come out and show the same attitude they did at the start of the game, then who knows what can happen.
Yeah, is that what Jimmy Nicholl will be saying, do you think, Craig? Just go out and do what you did in the first half?
Yeah, I think he'll be delighted with the first half performance, especially the start. And if he can get over to them, if they can do it the same, start the second half, they've got a great chance.
OK, well, let's go out and enjoy coverage of the second half. We'll be back, of course, at full time, together with our friends behind us, of course. But let's enjoy the second 45 minutes of this Coca-Cola Cup final. Let's rejoin Billy McNeil and Jock Brown.
Thank you, Dougie. You see that sea of ground staff out there on the pitch doing a lot of repair work. Billy, that was a problem from time to time, the surface causing players to slip.
Well, I think so. It's what we've got to remember. It's a new pitch, and I've seen it before. I saw it in the semi-final here with the Aberdeen and Celtic game when players did slip inexplicably, and it's happened so often today that there must be a little problem with the pitch. And it's been a bit wet, it's a bit greasy on the top, which probably must be accentuating it. But there's definitely a problem there.
So the work going on. There's a reminder of the Raith Rovers team, and the only alteration to that anticipated formation at the start was that Jason Dare and Stevie Crawford changed position in the middle of the field. Dare playing from the right, Crawford from the left, but otherwise that's the way Raith Rovers played. And Billy, it really was very effective early on particularly.
It was superbly effective, because what in actual fact they were doing was, with Celtic in possession, the three midfield players were picking up very, very tightly, but immediately they got possession, Cameron or Crawford or Dare, any one of them broke away and had that freedom to go and support the front two, and it worked very well for them. But you know, credit to Celtic. McStay and Collins worked very hard to get a little bit of control there, and really McStay has ran the show in the latter part of the first half, and that is an area that I'm quite sure that Jimmy Nicholl will be examining with his players at this very moment.
Well, the big target, of course, for Celtic was to find that kind of penetration that's been missing the last 8 matches in particular without a win in the league. But Charlie Nicholas's role, he's come here with a lot of experience and with a lot of high hopes pinned on him. How do you think he's performed?
Well, I think the pace of the game has taken just a little bit away from Charlie, but what he has been trying to do, and he's done it on 1 or 2 occasions, he's trying to find that little bit of space, a little bit of room where he can get a hold of the ball, use that brilliant ball control of his, and send some passes into his front two. Those front two have worked very hard for Celtic. Indeed, the whole tempo of the Celtic game accentuated when they lost the goal, and all credit to them. I felt that Raith were entitled to their goal, and equally I felt Celtic were entitled to get one back.
So that reaction you heard came from the Raith Rovers supporters, because their team has now arrived back on the field for the second half, and a very fast look around confirms that no changes have been made on the bench. There's still the option to bring on men like Jason Rowbottom and Ian Redford, as well as that young goalkeeper Brian Potter, who was such a hero in the semi-final. And Celtic emerge to a great reception. Certainly cannot be faulted for their amazing effort in the first half. And Andy Walker has come back 8 matches since he scored against Motherwell at Fir Park in the 1st of October, but he's looked lively and busy, and he's broken that famine, which will make a huge difference in his approach in front of goal. Well, referee McCluskey comes out. A check also of the Celtic ranks confirming no alteration made. They have Willie Faulkner and Paul Byrne as the outfield replacements, should they be required. So all set now for the second half of the Coca-Cola Cup final. Raith Rovers will start the match. Gordon Dalziel, the captain, and Ali Graham. And we're off once again. And the great certainty about this competition is that there has to be a winner today. And that means that whatever happens, there may well be extra time, there may be penalty shootouts before the end, but we're watching an event which is certain to produce drama before the end. We've had plenty of that in the first half. There's Simon Donnelly, who's played well in the first half. Picked up now by Walker. Well, John Collins demonstrating his confidence with that very ambitious effort. Celtic's leading goal scorer this season with 6, quite apart from his international scoring contributions.
Yeah, I was a bit surprised that Raith start to the second half, Jock. In actual fact, they started off very careless and lazy. They had the kick-off, and all of a sudden they gave the ball away to Celtic. And that's the last thing you want to do at the start of a second half. It's going to be really full of difficulty for them.
With Charlie Nicholas. And linking well again with Andy Walker. This is a formation which could well bear fruit for Celtic.
Yeah, you see that area that just behind the front two. Nicholas is prepared to break into that. He's prepared to have a shot, and you know, it all goes well for Celtic, but obviously that must be of concern to Raith Rovers, because they can't afford to give him that type of space.
The man getting across there late was David Neary, and a very big responsibility rests on his shoulder, I think, in this second half unfolds. Collins. Forward goes Boyd. Headed by Donnelly with a good one. Got it well to that at the near post. He's disappointed. His positioning though was excellent.
It's the run once again from Tom Boyd. Great cross, puts it in the middle. Simon Donnelly does the right thing. He gets across the front of his defender, but he's not accurate with the header. But really, I think what Raith have got to be thinking about is give some protection to young McInnesby on that side, because Boyd has almost got that domain to himself now.
Well, Jimmy Nicholl has taken some steps. He's already moved the formation at the back. He's pushed David Sinclair into a midfield role, matching up against John Collins. McInnesby, I think, has been weighed back into an orthodox right back in a four-man defence position. So Jimmy Nicholl has changed the shape of his defence. It's now McInnesby, Dennis, Neary and Broddle across the back. Sinclair's strength now being deployed in midfield. A long pass forward. Walker goes to chase with David Neary. Careless one, there's Donnelly. Well, David Neary caught in two minds there. The ball's out for Celtic. Well, Raith Rovers rocking just a little at the start of the second half. The Celtic trying to pick up the pace they had developed in the first half. Nicholas trying to find space to control that. Here's Sinclair now in his new role. Crawford lofts it forward. DL's on his own for the moment. Well, interesting changes, Billy.
It's very interesting. I think Jimmy Nicholl's taking a big gamble, because he's leaving Sean Dennis and David Neary to account for that centre of his defence, and I'm not convinced that they're strong enough to do that. I felt that was one area that he had quite well protected in the first half. They worked hard. They fought hard to keep the score as it was, but I'm not convinced that this is the right thing for him to do at this stage.
Well, the other alterations involve him putting Stevie Crawford to the wide right position. Jason Dare is now wide on the left. Sinclair is sitting in there. He's got to look after Charlie Nicholas too, I think, in that area. Colin Cameron, the creative player in the centre of midfield. It's a 4-4-2 formation now. But Celtic persisting with the tactics they deployed at the start. Here's Mike Galloway racing forward. He's controlled that well. Broddle comes to meet him. And the ball played in early by Galloway. He was appealing there for handball, but appealing in vain. The linesman on the other side not interested in the claims. John Fleming from Glasgow. Slightly misjudged by Mowbray. O'Neill provides the depth to the Celtic defence. Now there's Nicholas. Sinclair in that new role. Clearly he's been instructed to make sure Nicholas doesn't enjoy the space he had for spells in the first half. This is Crawford. Did extremely well there to get to the byline. The linesman telling the referee that Gordon Marshall kept the ball in play. And that means it was very good goalkeeping.
Yeah, Stevie Crawford does well, and I can understand him being pushed into that position. He's prepared to take his man on. Gets almost to the byline here and smacks in that good cross.
There's Mike Galloway. Cameron nudging the ball away. Tommy Burns acting as ball boy there and offering some instructions once again to his players. Not entirely happy. Wants them busy and brisk. In Celtic traditional fashion. And Jimmy Nicholl too, working extremely hard down below us. Reorganising his side. This is McStay. Galloway's in space. Good running here by Walker. Cross goes Broddle. It's a great ball in. And it's gone wide of the target from Tom Boyd. Well, it's 2.5 years since he scored for Celtic, and this must be the closest yet.
That was a great pass from Mike Galloway. It's superb cross by Andy Walker, and really Tom Boyd must be wondering how he's missed that one. There's the pass. Look at that. Look at the space that Andy Walker's got. And I think this is a problem that they're going to have. Therein goes the crossing. Really, Tommy Boyd should be finishing that one.
Well, never a prolific goal scorer. His last goal was on the 8th of April 1992 in a 1-1 draw against St Mirren. Here's Walker again. Galloway makes the run. That was well read by Dare. And Dare's clearance controlled by Paul Burton, who's warming up down below us also, the Celtic substitute. Charlie Nicholas holding off Dennis. That's Galloway. Once again, Boyd racing into the penalty area. That's O'Neill. He's away from Sinclair. Great play here from O'Neill. Nicholas takes over. A stumble again. Made him improvise somewhat there. Mowbray to Collins. Nicholas attempting the return pass. Sinclair was in the way. This is Galloway. Dare now looking for Graham. The shadow again is Mowbray. Late and clumsy. Clear foul by Mowbray. And this time referee Jim McCluskey is going to take some action. Well, he has certainly been in a lenient frame of mind, I would have said, in the first half, but this time he thinks that one merits the first yellow card of the match.
Well, really, this is where Celtic defenders have got to keep their concentration. But there you are. I don't think Tony Mowbray's got any cause for complaint there.
So a little bit of respite for this hard-pressed Raith Rovers defence. Julian Broddle fighting it in. Up goes McNally. This is Collins. Interception there by Neary. Good header that by McStay. Here's Donnelly in behind the Raith Rovers defence. Well, you can see the intention all right, trying to put the ball on a plate for Charlie Nicholas. Celtic's throw. Here's Walker. In goes McStay. That's a great defending tackle by Sean Dennis. Mowbray did well. This is Collins. Faced by Sinclair. Collins again. Well, he set himself superbly for the shot at goal. The sidestepping David Sinclair very, very smoothly indeed.
Yeah, Celtic have really got control now. Paul McStay driving into the box here, does very well, but Sean Dennis makes a tremendous challenge because he's going to hit the target. But really the thing that's stretching Raith at the minute, they've gone to this 4-4-2 really. I know I can understand Crawford going on that right-hand side to try and curb Tommy Boyd, but really it's causing them problems at the back because they're getting stretched and dragged all over the place.
So it's Brian O'Neill now for Celtic. Dennis reacting to a call from Scott Thompson to leave that. Well, he's been threatening to make a move to the big time, Dennis, for many a year now without actually doing that. So 24 years old, plenty of time. This performance, we're doing him no harm at all. Here's John Collins. Donnelly to the left. Galloway supporting from the right. He did well. That's McStay. And now Collins. Walker is offside. A lingering look towards the linesman there, but no real complaint from Andy Walker.
Celtic are enjoying a whole lot of freedom on that area, just outside the Raith Rovers defence. And really, here we see Andy Walker. He's just edged into an offside position here. And really, in that position, he should be doing that because you can see the line of defenders in front of him.
Graham did well. Good timing. That's DL. Now Crawford. It's a very potent department of the Raith Rovers team, attacking play with Crawford on the right, Dare on the left, Graham and DL through the middle when they can have the luxury of doing that. So Raith Rovers throw. This opening spell in the second half dominated by Celtic without being able to make the breakthrough. stay under pressure there. McNally sorted out with a searing tackle there. Collins and Nicholas link up. David Sinclair finding it very difficult in that position to make an impact in the game. His new midfield role. Galloway. Led away by McInnesby. Good play by Collins. That's O'Neill. Still Boyd pushing forward as a left winger virtually. One for Galloway again. He's won it well. Arrived awkwardly at Andy Walker. Collins showing skill and strength. Now Donnelly. Helps it wide for Galloway. Brave goalkeeping by Thompson. Well, the keeper did extremely well there.
Yeah, he does. He's kept his eye on the ball. He's prepared to go in there and get a knock. But all credit to him. He wanted that ball and he achieved it. But really, Raith's difficulties. David Sinclair seems to be lost in that midfield there. And all of a sudden, Charlie Nicholas, who didn't really have all that much to do in the game, is almost controlling it.
And Andy Walker crowded out there very rapidly by Stephen McInnesby. That was excellent defending by McInnesby. Well, he saved the day for Raith Rovers without question. Walker was in the clear. Young McInnesby, released 18 months ago by Aberdeen. Spent some time in Sweden, could have stayed there. Came back home to play for Raith Rovers. So a throw to Celtic, which Mike Galloway will take. There's Walker. McStay. Well, trying to whip that across the face of the goal, I think. Was cued under pressure there from Jason Dare, from Colin Cameron rather. Mowbray with Graham. Mowbray, of course, now with a yellow card against his name. That makes life even more difficult as he competes with Graham. Ball's out of play. Throw to Raith Rovers. Well, Jimmy Nicholl with a few problems still to resolve in his own mind. I wonder if he's contemplating the possibility of trying to close the door totally and play for extra time and penalties. Well, Gordon Marshall's call was not heard by McNally. He did the right thing in these circumstances. Well, the only assumption is that McNally didn't hear any call.
No, and he's really got to get the ball away from there and then talk about it afterwards.
Attempt there by Cameron. A shot at goal. That's Galloway to Nicholas. Galloway again. Gets too long on the ball. Dare steps in. Here's Sinclair. Gets the break of the ball, invites McStay across. Broddle with a cross. Appeared to be handball, but accidental. Wouldn't change things because Celtic had the ball away. Came off Ali Graham's arm. Nicholas. Well, clearly Stevie Crawford's task is also to try to peg back Tom Boyd.
There's absolutely no doubt whatsoever with that. That's understandable, but you know, I think that where they've really been stretched is through the middle of the defence, because I think Sean Dennis and David Nader find it difficult to cope with the pressure that's on them.
Tom Boyd at full stretch there, couldn't keep the ball in play. Well, the manager's point of view, Billy, would you be thinking like Jimmy Nicholl if he may be thinking about shutting the door and looking for extra time?
Well, I don't think there's any thought of that in Jimmy's mind at all, because really in actual fact what he's done is he's given his side a more positive outlook, because when they've got the ball they look dangerous going forward, but I just question whether or not they can withstand the Celtic pressure.
McStay's pass. Here's Collins. Walker. Miscue with a pass. Cameron picks it up for Raith Rovers. Well, finding it very difficult indeed, the men from Kirkcaldy, to involve Gordon Dalziel and Ali Graham up front. Space here on the right again for Galloway. Donnelly, the nutmeg, attempted. Broddle. Winning it well for Raith Rovers. That's good play by McNally. Well, McNally has played in every match for the season for Celtic, except one when he was on the bench and came on. And apart from that, only Gordon Marshall, Tommy Boyd and John Collins are ever present. Raith Rovers possession from the throw. Donnelly out of luck there, ball arriving rather awkwardly. Mowbray doing well again against Graham. Back from O'Neill to Marshall, and O'Neill immediately makes himself available to receive the ball, as did McNally. Well, there really are problems on that surface. Well, let's hope nothing crucial happens as a result of a slip like that. This is Dare, a skillful young man, and he's down the corner. Better for Raith Rovers. So an opportunity here for Raith Rovers to send forward Sean Dennis, arriving late in the box for the outswinger from Bruddle. Graham attacks the ball, swept away by Galloway. It's a good ball from McInnesby, trying to find Julian Bruddle. A foul on Donnelly by Cameron. Free kick to Celtic. Simon Donnelly's worked extremely hard and showed a lot of skill. Taken on the back by Bruddle. Another free kick. So O'Neill assessing the options. Wants to play it short. Cross from McNally to Collins. Difficult one for Boyd to make good use of. Has to turn back. Nicholas. Collins again. That's for Boyd. It's good play from Celtic. And Andy Walker turning that in and just over the bar. A fine sweeping move on the left from Celtic once again. Created out of very little indeed with Boyd and Collins and Nicholas.
Yeah, Tommy Boyd has been tremendous going up and down that left-hand side. Sends a very difficult ball for anybody to control. Defenders can put that type of cross into their own net. But there we see the build-up again. Look at that patient build-up. Sends a pass through for Tommy Boyd to put in a good cross.
Here's Galloway again. That's a good ball. Stay waiting for the tackle coming in from Cameron. Good turn by Walker. Julian Bruddle got a vital touch there. Bit of jersey holding by Jason Dare, which wasn't spotted by the linesman or the referee. Oh, good play from O'Neill. Here's Nicholas, now McStay. One for Galloway to chase. Find the cross on the run, not at all easy. Going towards the corner flag like that. Long trek back now for Galloway. Donnelly wins it back. That's McStay. Galloway has stayed forward. Nearly in the way for Raith Rovers. Here's McStay. Now Donnelly. McStay once more. Shown inside by Graham. That's a good diagonal ball in there for Charlie Nicholas, but Neary read it swiftly. More than 900 top senior matches he's played, Neary. This is Collins. Chance to hit the byline. He's away from Sinclair. Still in possession. And the first time shot came from Charlie Nicholas under severe pressure there from Dennis. But excellent play from John Collins.
Yeah, it certainly is. And there's the opportunity that Charlie Nicholas misses. But in fairness, he was put under pressure by the defence. But here we see they begin to move. Look at that run. He presses himself between two defenders. Just a little bit lazy by Jason Dare there, in actual fact, because he allowed him to run and break in between.
Now the pace of Crawford being used on the left by Raith Rovers. Crunching tackle, delivered by Galloway. So Raith Rovers, they're trying to get forward at every opportunity. We're at the three-quarter mark in the match. Still one goal apiece. Stevie Crawford's opener cancelled out by Andy Walker. Goddard's corner. Marshall did well. With a very early decision to come for that.
Yeah, he makes up his mind right away. This is my ball. He goes for it. It's in amongst all those big fellas, but gets his hands it and holds on to it. It's always important for a defence to see the goalkeeper doing that.
The layoff came from Crawford. Jason Dare has switched to the Raith Rovers right flank. Crawford's come to the left. Here's Walker with Ruddle. Galloway with Crawford, who did well marking him and matching the run. This is Cameron. Yes, he was nudged by Collins. The referee's quite right, given the free kick.
He really drives at players when he picks up that ball, Colin Cameron. And really, if Raith could get more of the ball, I think he would be able to cause any team problems at the back. But you know, the fact that they're under so much pressure, it means he's working hard to get the ball to prevent things rather than to be creative.
Mary's header straight to Bruddle. DL, a little stumble there by DL. Nicholas playing it long. There's no offside. Here's Donnelly, a chance to give Celtic the lead. And a chance which he spawns. A lack of conviction there by young Simon Donnelly, who hasn't scored this season. Well, the linesman right on the spot, wave play on there.
Yeah, for me it looks suspiciously offside, but really his first touch lets him down, and indeed his second one takes it towards the goalkeeper. But all credit to the goalkeeper. He's prepared to go out there and block it and smother it and save his team once again.
Really was a great chance though for Celtic. Well, one they might regret. Here's Gordon Dalziel trying to do just that. He's a very good finisher. Well, deadly in that position, frequently Gordon Dalziel. Scored 10 times for his club this season.
Well, that's right. It's a funny old game at times, as you're saying. We've not seen a lot of Gordon Dalziel, but I think this is where Celtic have got to watch at the back. The concentration's got to be good because he's capable of scoring and he's got good pace. He'll get himself in behind there.
Here goes Colin running at this Raith Rovers defence. Donnelly goes to the right. Walker waits in the middle. Well, that's good. He loses running. Pass goes astray though. Sinclair knocks the ball to safety. Tommy Burns retrieves it. So Mike Galloway will take this throw for Celtic. Into the closing 20 minutes now. Here's McStay. Takes the return. It's good play from Celtic once again. And the linesman and referee give a goal kick when Paul McStay clearly believed it should have been a corner. There's John Fleming, a referee who's Grade 1 referee, is on the line. Raith Rovers supporters appreciating this heroic performance. Graham's header, asking too much of Cameron. Here's Andy Walker. Eased out of that by Broddle. Cameron sends it forward, a chase for Graham, which he will make in vain. O'Neill's throw. In goes Broddle. Well, you have to think that Raith Rovers will believe that if they're still in the match this late on, they have a chance.
Well, I think they've always got a chance. It's amazing the pressure that they've absorbed and soaked up, and all credit to every one of them at the back there, including the goalkeeper. They've been tremendous.
Good throw-in move that. Nicholas with a cross. Plenty of cover there for Raith Rovers. Broddle sends it long. Mowbray at full stretch. Graham wins it. In goes O'Neill. He's looked very assured in that sweeper role. Hasn't put under too much pressure defensively, in fairness, but he's done well linking passing movements from deep positions. Nicholas supported by Collins. Here he is again. Good quick feet. Walker wanted too long on the ball. Broddle denied him any time. Graham to Crawford. That's one for Dare to chase. Must be terribly frustrating for a very quick forward to find himself outpaced by a defender like Boyd. Well, O'Neill had to get some help there from Gordon Marshall. Here's Dare taking on Boyd. Jimmy Nicholl, I'm sure, wants him to occupy Boyd defensively. That's why he's in that position. Well, it's no surprise to find Paul McStay breaking from defence. That pass not up to the usual standard this afternoon. Crawford to Sinclair. Dare free over on the far side. Crawford goes to join him. Well, the intended pass from Dare to Crawford, anticipated by Boyd. Now it's Crawford, promising for Raith Rovers. In goes Ali Graham. That's excellent goalkeeping. Just what was required in the circumstances.
Yes, Gordon Marshall hasn't had an awful lot of saves to stop, but he's done very well with these cross balls. Comes out there well and takes the danger away.
Nicholas. A wrestling match with Sinclair, which Nicholas didn't appreciate. The referee couldn't have been closer and he wasn't too troubled. There's Galloway. Caught on his heels there as the ball arrived.
Celtic have done well with that play, haven't they? They've been prepared to push both Tommy Boyd and Mike Galloway forward, and they get into good positions in and around that box. But you know, obviously Tommy Boyd's been that bit tighter mark now, and Mike Galloway's getting that bit more freedom.
Graham did well, but the header goes straight to Galloway. Donnelly tripped by Broddle. Confirmation of today's attendance has just arrived. 45,384. 45,384, and every man jack enthralled by this match. Tackle came from Broddle. So, throw to Celtic. Headed away by Neary. This time it's a corner. Well, David Neary, 38 years old, going into these late stages of a very tough cup tie with the prospect of extra time to come. There's Collins. Thompson has come for that. Now Galloway trying to have a lob volley there towards the far post beyond the keeper, who was caught in the 6-yard line. The intention certainly couldn't be quarrelled with.
It's always difficult for a goalkeeper when he's going in amongst a packed header like that, but doesn't quite get the punch he wants, but nevertheless clears the danger. Mike Galloway has a chance to put it back in the middle, doesn't make it.
Well, Raith Rovers getting here after beating Ross County 5-0, then going through 3-2 against Kilmarnock with a Colin Cameron hat-trick. Then they beat St Johnstone at Perth 3-1, and a dramatic semi-final penalty shootout against Airdrie. And that has earned them the right to be such fine finalists this afternoon. Here's O'Neill. Now there's trouble for Celtic. Sinclair leads the break. On the far side is Graham. That's intended for DL. Inside it goes for Crawford. It's neatly won by Collins. Galloway takes over. Donnelly on the right touchline. Nicholas through the middle. Walker coming from a deep position this time. That is for Galloway. A chance on this time. Well, the accuracy of the cross simply wasn't there, and now the counter-attack is on. Jason Dare leading Raith Rovers charge. Graham and Mowbray tangle. The throw to Raith Rovers. McNally's had a good match for Celtic.
Yeah, it's a good pass for Simon Don. Look at the space that Mike Galloway... But look, he really should have elected to lay that ball back or indeed play it across in front of defenders. But I think it was just really a careless return ball in actual fact at the end of the day.
Here's DL again against McNally. Supported well by Cameron. It's a fine young player. Each day spots the danger, makes the tackle, and concedes the corner.
You know, all credit to Raith Rovers. You know, they've given Celtic so much territory, but when they get the ball, they still look as though they're capable of achieving something.
And still sending the big men forward for this. Graham right on the goal line, and Dennis making a run from the corner of the box. Further away there by Mowbray. Here's Broddle again. He has Cameron behind. It's gone straight to Donnelly. And Nicholas loses his footing. Now Dennis. Here's Crawford. He's always a threat. On the far side is Dare. Boyd playing it up, looking for Walker. McInnesby wins it. Crawford across to Cameron. Chance here for Raith Rovers. Good tackle in the end by Galloway. Even the referee struggling on the surface. Galloway with Sinclair. Free kick goes to Raith Rovers. Well, Sinclair's settling in a bit better now. He had a torrid time when he first moved into midfield. So 10 minutes remaining in the Coca-Cola Cup final, 1 goal apiece. And the opportunity for someone to make a real name for himself here before the end. Collins couldn't get to that. He thought Donnelly should have dropped off deep to help him. Well, Cameron runs into Galloway. The referee saw nothing wrong with that. Donnelly couldn't get to that. Neither side committing a substitute.
You know, it's been a great final because there's been so much sense and so much excitement, and I think the players really enjoyed it. I think it was indicated there with Mike Galloway that they just looked at each other and said, well, somebody's got to win this game, haven't they?
Graham and DL trying to create something. Broddle gives some help, loses out to Galloway. Strong play by Galloway. Donnelly's layoff from Nicholas. That's Galloway again. Good build-up play from Celtic. Forward goes McStay, supported by Collins inside. The offside flag is up against Andy Walker. Well, that was a very fine move at this stage in the game. Such excellent touch shown by a number of Celtic players.
It was a tremendous drive for Celtic, but all credit to look at David there. He's sizing up the situation, said, no sense in me getting in there because I'm not going to get to it. Step out and leave him offside. Good defending.
Fine play again from Neary. That was McNally. Walker with McInnesby. McInnesby under pressure. This is Andy Walker again. Showing too much of the ball there to Sean Dennis. He likes nothing better than a tackle like that. Now Collins. Galloway calling for the ball, the far corner of the penalty box. He's the target. Little dinked ball in was dangerous. Neri read it well. Not enough space for Galloway. Difficult ball to take. Well, it's very tense now and very nervy.
Well, that's right, but all credit to Raith Rovers. They've stuck with it, and David Neri in particular at the back he's been really tremendous for Raith, and he's tidied up, he's swept up. In fact, he's looked more convincing in the present role than he did in the role he was playing prior to the change.
Well, used, of course, to playing for Dundee United for so many years in a flat back four. Paul Higgerty is his partner for so many years. Well, the noise you hear coming from Celtic supporters willing their team forward in these closing stages. The goal now would surely win this match. Good tackle by Cameron on McStay. And the deflection there off McStay gives the throw to the Raith Rovers. What a fine match this young man has had. Joined the club from Sligo Rovers 2 years ago. And a great match too from Paul McStay. Nicholas to Galloway. Here's O'Neill. Boyd makes an angle on the far side. Donnelly's going to cross to that side also. McStay has to be careful here. He's in trouble. This is DL. The interception is made by O'Neill. Graham was breaking on the right. Paul McStay discussing the problem with his teammates there. He didn't have anyone at the right angle to play a pass to. This is Collins. Good goes for Nicholas. That's Walker! And tapped in by Charlie Nicholas! Nicholas is surely now won the cup for Celtic. 6 minutes left. Andy Walker hit the post. And Nicholas swooped for what surely will win the match for Celtic.
It's a good ball for John Conn, but this is a problem with changing to a back four. There we see Andy Walker, loads of space on the edge of the box. Tremendous effort, but there's a reaction from Nicholas, gets in ahead of the defender. Not if there's a criticism, it's perhaps unfair at this stage. It's just that he reacted much more quickly than defenders. But look at Andy Walker's turn and shot. Tremendous. Gold did no chance. And there you are, see Nicholas in ahead of the defenders.
Well, it was great play here by Collins, but look at the part Nicholas played in the build-up. Look at this little pass into the path of Andy Walker for that shot on the turn, and the predator instincts are still there for Nicholas on the rebound in a flash. What a moment for Charlie Nicholas. He scored the last time the League Cup was won by Celtic in 1982. He scored one of the 2 goals in a 2-1 win over Rangers, and back again after his travels to Arsenal when he scored 2 against Liverpool in 1987 to win there at Wembley. He then scored in '89 for playing again for Aberdeen and won in 1989. And now he's back in his beloved green and white to win the cup, I suspect, for Celtic. Well, what a dramatic finish. 4 minutes remaining. Can Raith Rovers draw on their amazing reserves of courage and stamina and save this? Fouled by McStay.
Really is a magnificent turn and shot by Andy Walker, but there's a reaction. You see Nicholas in ahead of defenders. Defenders just a little bit leaden-footed, but maybe a bit of tiredness, but Nicholas is in there in front of them to put Celtic ahead.
So, Raith Rovers have the free kick. David Neri flights the ball in. One inside the area by O'Neill. That's Sinclair. Good play by Dare. A chance out here for the equaliser. And Raith Rovers have done it. It's gone DL. Quite incredible. Gordon DL gets his 11th of the season, and the one he'll remember for a And Jason Deere did the spade work.
Yeah, very talented running. Look at the shot. Now, it's amazing. You know, Gordon Marshall has had a save to make. He won't enjoy watching that one, but there's Gordon Gale right on the spot. He said, I don't miss him from there. Look at that, look at there it is. Thank you very much. What a final this is.
And certainly onside at the point when the shot went in from there. Reacting very quickly. Typical poacher's finish. 3 minutes left. Wow, Celtic coming again with Galloway. He's earned the corner kick.
There we see it again. Young Jason Deere does so well here. Tremendous strike, but as I say, Gordon Marshall won't really enjoy it. But look at the delight in DL's face. He's not had a lot of touches today, but that one's important.
That's well won by Scott Thompson. Back out to Collins. Oh, great play. And the shot wasn't far away. In fairness, though, the far post was protected by McInnesby. It would have been very difficult for Collins to score here.
Yeah, John Collins does well. He knows what he's after. He wants to get it on that left foot. Curves it in there, but all credit to young McInnesby. He knows it's going past and he's not going to touch that.
So good defensive cover there. Well, now extra time surely looming, or is there to be more drama before the end? Quite incredible. And for Raith Rovers to come back the way they have done says everything about their courage and their resources. So lofted forward by Dennis. Ignali in trouble here. There's DL looking for a shooting chance. Out to Graham. Paul McStay back defending. Raith Rovers clearly believe they can score again. Here's Collins. Tom Boyd now has been pushed back by the tactical alterations made by Raith Rovers because so many problems for Raith Rovers in the first half, but that's all changed since the switch to 4-4-2 by Raith Rovers. Nicholas forward as Walker trying to find Galloway. Neri did well. The legs are still working, although he's over there. In goes Mowbray. Neri knows exactly where he is. Leaves it alone. Well, Celtic proving vulnerable there just after scoring.
Well, that's right. It's often appear when you are, but all credit to Raith Rovers. You know, they have worked so hard. The new system gave them a bit more attacking ability, and they've used it once again.
No foul there as Graham tackles McStay. Have Raith Rovers the audacity now? They want to win this. Here's Crawford. Looking for Graham. Mowbray matched them all the way. Tired clearance. That's good play by Galloway. Options to the right from Donnelly, through the middle with Walker and Nicholas. Careless one towards Donnelly, that. Jimmy Nicholl senses this tie, or this final is well within his grasp suddenly. Encouragement for his players. We'll settle for extra time, I'm sure of that. Helped on by Cameron. And the final whistle goes. We're into extra time. It's been an amazing second half, though.
Absolutely brilliant. You're frightened to turn away because there's something happening all the time. But really, all credit to Raith Rovers. They withstood so much pressure from Celtic. The goalkeeper had some particularly good saves. David Neri had a tremendous spell there. Good tackles, good challenges. But all credit to them. When they got the opportunity, they went up the pitch and scored. They won't lie down. This has been a tremendous final. Great advert for our game.
A glimpse there of the goal scorers. Charlie Nicholas first, then Gordon DL. Full of determination, obviously, in that Raith Rovers camp. What an extra time period we're about to enjoy.
There's no doubt at all about that. An enthralling second half, and Raith Rovers, who really looked to be dead and buried, they'd been under so much pressure for virtually the whole of the second half, went down to that Charlie Nicholas goal with just 6 minutes left. Let's take a look at the goal, which at the time certainly looked, Ali, as if it had won Celtic the cup.
Well, we all thought right away. I mean, it's a magnificent shot in the turn here from Andy Walker. That's brilliant. You see it better from the other angle. It actually bends. Great effort and challenge into it and knock the rebound in. Good reactions, but a great shot from Walker. It was a good move, and we all thought. I mean, we thought that was it, finished. But they came back, didn't they?
Enormous credit to Raith Rovers, obviously, Craig. They just never say die.
That's right. I thought Jason Dare did exceptional here. Throughout the whole of the game, he's been more chasing back, stopping the Celtic defence coming forward. But he does great here. Cuts inside, drops the shoulders. Good strike. Maybe the keeper might have done it. I'm just wondering whether Daz put that in with his nose or his head. I'm just debating about that.
They went through the net if he'd put it in with his nose, Craig.
I think he would have enjoyed it though, Ali.
So great scenes right at the end there.
Well, astonishing ending with 6 minutes to go. Charlie Nicholas puts Celtic 1 up, and then with just 4 minutes to go, Gordon Dalziel makes it 2 each. So we're now set for 30 minutes of extra time, and the way this final has gone, I don't think any of us would be too surprised if it went all the way to a penalty shootout. Tremendous tension. Let's rejoin Jock and Billy.
Well, some very tired players out there, obviously, and I think the greatest disappointment, Billy, will be with the Celtic players who clearly thought, I think, they'd won the game.
Well, I've got to be honest, I thought that that would have killed Raith Rovers, because you had a look at the expressions of despair on their faces when Nicholas put that goal in. But as I say, all credit to them, been absolutely marvellous examples of first division football. Up they came, and Gordon Dalziel was there on the spot to put it away. And really, if you analyse it, two centre forwards, Andy Walker, Gordon Dalziel, have been in the right spot just to put them away, and that's what they're paid to do.
So the toss of the coin again. Who'd have believed this? Paul McStay and Gordon Dalziel. Dalziel has the call. Remember, there has to be a winner this afternoon, so penalty kicks a live possibility. No, change of mind there. Toss the coin to see who would call. So, Raith Rovers have the kick-off. I think that's what I would prefer to at this stage, Billy, to get the ball at the start of this extra time period rather than go and chase it.
Oh, there's no doubt about that, and it'll be interesting to see how Raith Rovers started. They started the second half a little bit slack, and it took them a long spell to get out of that. Let's see if they start this extra time with a bit more impetus.
And remember, substitutes available, none used as yet. Referee checks with the linesman, and extra time is underway. Interesting to see very quickly if Raith Rovers are staying with the formation with which they ended the game, and indeed they are. 4-4-2 formation. Dalziel beaten to that by O'Neill. That's Sinclair. Now McInnesby. And it comes to Sinclair. Dalziel and Raith Rovers certainly starting much more briskly in extra time than they did at the start of the second half. Enjoying a lot of possession here. That's Dennis Cameron. It's well read by Paul McStay though. He wins that from Crawford. Trying to release Andy Walker. The marker is Neri. Donnelly comes across to help. The free kick's been given though for the offence by Neri on Walker. And some activity here on the Celtic bench. They're going to make a change, I think. Willie Faulkner has been called back from his warm-up. I think he'll be introduced before long. Paul Byrne also on the Celtic bench with Packie Bonner. Here's John Collins trying to find a gap to go through. Goal kick it is. And there will be a change made very quickly now by Celtic. At least one.
Yeah, I have the feeling that young Simon Donnelly might be coming off, because he's done a lot of running, he's done a lot of work. They might well be trying to put a fresh pair of legs up there. They've got Faulkner on the bench. It may well they push Nicholas forward, but I have the feeling they might just put Willie Faulkner up there to maybe upset Raith at the back. Bit stronger, bit bigger, better in the air.
Nicholas to Collins. That's great running. Collins going all the way himself, but once again Scott Thompson makes that save look easy. Raith Rovers too will make a change. They're preparing to bring on Jason Rowbottom. In fact, that will be the first alteration made. Rowbottom coming on. Save taken comfortably there by Thompson. So it's going to be Rowbottom, I think, to replace Julian Bruddle. That'll be left back for left back. Whenever a suitable break in the proceedings happens, there haven't been very many breaks in these proceedings this afternoon. Sean Dennis. Well, it's been a game played with a good spirit, lots of commitment. There's been very little by way of stoppage for trainers coming on. We've seen a lot of very good football. And here's the change which Raith Rovers have been wanting to make. The fourth official, Hugh Dallas, is there, and he holds up the number 3. And Celtic take an opportunity also to come on. So it's Rowbottom for Bruddle, and for Celtic, Simon Donnelly has been withdrawn.
Substitution for Raith Rovers.
So off goes Donnelly. The replacement is Willie Faulkner. Add some strength to the attack for extra time. Looks as though Charlie Nicholas has been pushed forward now to an orthodox striking position beside Walker. Here's McStay. Well, a free kick's been given there, and I have a strong suspicion this Celtic are fortunate there. Jason Rowbottom thinks so.
Well, I think it's Rowbottom. He's just on the pitch. I don't think he's quite got to the base. I don't think it was intentional, actual fact, but you know, in fairness to the referee, he wasn't close enough to see that.
Then by Nicholas, right against the wall. Sinclair's strength pays off there. Here's Rowbottom, fresh pair of legs, sprinting clear on the left. Man born in Wales, who played for Plymouth Argyle before coming here. Back with McInnesby. Swept away by O'Neill. Faulkner trying to get involved here. That's there. It's on for Cameron. And very important work carried out there by Willie Faulkner. Matched that run superbly made by Cameron.
Yeah, Cameron's been exceptional because he's broken from that midfield area so often. Look at that. At this stage in the game, he's still prepared to make those 30, 40 yards run. Had a tremendous game, but good covering and good work by Willie Faulkner.
Switching into cup final mode very swiftly, Faulkner. And he had to, otherwise Cameron would have had a great chance there. It's headed away firmly by Galloway. And the ball not controlled this time by Cameron. Well, I kind of suspect that one or two of these young Raith Rovers players will attract even more attention after this, Billy. Stevie Crawford, Colin Cameron, Jason Dare did well too for the goal.
They've certainly not done the prospects any harm at all, have they? But, you know, I would imagine that Raith will be keen to hold on to them, and that possibly the money from this final will help them to do that.
There's McInnesby, another young man having a good match. 22-year-old. Graham's header. Crawford challenged by Galloway. Sinclair, that's good play. Rowbottom linking with Cameron. The angle ball finds Graham. This is DL. Headed away by O'Neill, straight to Collins. Good change of pace. Excellent play by Collins. Now Nicholas dropping off deeper. Faulkner's gone through the middle. Well, the pass not quite good enough for Collins. Frustration on the face of the Scottish international.
It's a real credit to both teams in actual fact, because the pace of the game has never let up at all, and really Raith Rovers in particular won't be used to playing at this particular pace. No, Celtic have played well in the game, but all credit to Raith Rovers. They're stuck with them, they're still there, and they've given us a great final. Both teams have been exceptional.
And those who thought that Celtic were sure to do well against the First Division side, finding that to be very much off the mark. That's good defending again, facing Collins. Now it's Cameron. Gordon Yale peels off to the right. Graham is through the middle. Cameron stays up. Crawford joining them also. Here's Crawford. Shooting chance on. official took up very good position for that. There's Galloway now. Breaking for Celtic. Walker back to Paul McStay. Celtic will make another change shortly. Paul Byrne is preparing to come on. This is Nicholas. Faulkner hurried with that pass. And Boyd was caught late there. That was a nasty one. Ali Graham, he'll be booked. Well, the apology offered, I think, by Ali Graham. Not much consolation to Tom Boyd. So the first effort there by Stevie Crawford for Raith Rovers really was an excellent one.
This is a tremendous move from Raith Rovers. You know, they built it up from the back. And look at that shot. Good position by Gordon Marshall.
Forward comes Celtic again. That's played away calmly by Neary. Galloway returns it. That's Collins back towards Galloway. Dennis comes across, losing out to Galloway though. The last touch came from Galloway, says the linesman. The Celtic fans behind the goal don't agree with that. And that has made up Tommy Byrne's mind to make another change, and it's going to be Paul Byrne for Charlie Nicholas. Certainly beginning to tread water a little, Nicholas now. Not surprisingly, he's put a great deal into this. And off he goes. So Paul Byrne is on. He'll offer some width on the right, I reckon, with Faulkner looking for some crosses from that area. Andy Walker too. There's McInnesby. A torrid time in the first half from Tom Boyd, with that extra protection offered by Jimmy Nicholl. Curbed the threat from Tommy Boyd. So the throw will be taken here by Jason Robot, and we've had now nearly 10 minutes of extra time. Remember, half-hour period in all, 15 minutes each way, then potentially a penalty shootout, but you'll miss none of that. We'll be here right to the bitter end until that trophy is presented. Crawford played it in. This is Cameron. Long-range shooting chance. A little bit ambitious. And his teammates not too pleased with him. David Sinclair and Steve McInnesby on his right-hand side. He's apologising to them now.
No, that's right, because he's created the opportunity to send a good pass in down that right-hand side. And fairness to McInnesby, at this stage in the game, he's made that run to come support. When the pass doesn't come, he's entitled to show his disappointment.
Breaks off Jason Dare for the throw to Celtic. Still one substitute available for Raith Rovers. Whenever Jimmy Nicholl thinks it appropriate, it's Ian Redford who hasn't yet been called upon. No free kick there. Sinclair back to McInnesby. Powerful challenge though, wins possession back for Celtic. The offside flag was up. The referee has spotted that now. So free kick to Raith Rovers. Paul Byrne yet to make an impact in the proceedings since coming on as substitute.
You know, David Neary has really organised. He's used his experience to great benefit to Raith Rovers at the back. He's organised them so well that he's asking them to push out at times and leave Celtic players in behind offside. It saves their legs, it saves an awful lot of running.
Scott Thompson's free kick. Graham heads it on. That's cleared by O'Neill. Giel looking for scraps there through the middle. Here's Byrne. And the cover is there from Sean Dennis. He's careless though. Here's a chance for Celtic. Here's Byrne. And Neary was there once again. Saving the day for Raith Rovers after the error made by Sean Dennis. Byrne will take this in swinging corner kick. Taken again by Thompson. Well, he played behind David Neary at Dundee United, although he didn't have too many first-team opportunities behind Hamish McAlpin, and then Alan Main got the nod ahead of him to come into the United first team. Then moved on to Forfar and then to Raith Rovers. Good interception by Boyd. Here's Crawford. Strong, elusive running. Here's Sinclair now, the shooting chance. Steadying himself. Well, wanting to walk right in, I think. Good effort though by Cameron. Well, Raith Rovers really believe they can win this.
Yeah, they're not giving up, have they, at all? Look at this, when this ball breaks free in the edge of the box, there's Golokan once again. It's a good shot in. They've had more shots in the latter stage of the game than they did in the early stage.
Galloway's header. Up goes Faulkner. It's turned away there for a corner by Jason Rowbottom. Some more work for the hard-pressed Raith Rovers defence. They're all tracking back now to help. They're all camped around that Raith Rovers goal now, apart from Gordon Marshall, the Celtic goalkeeper. Here's John Collins, spooning that in. Thompson takes it calmly again, despite the pressure applied by Tony Mowbray, the formidable figure coming in and a young goalkeeper. Back into defence he goes, Mowbray. The free kick goes to Raith Rovers in the end. Graham leaning in, Mowbray standing his ground.
You know, they've had some real tussles, these two. Look at that. No one's wanting to give anything up there at all. They're enjoying that.
So we're in the final minute of the first period of extra time. Raith Rovers on the attack with David Neary's free kick. Always a threat in this position. Graham there to nod that on. No takers though for Raith Rovers, so it's Paul Byrne now for Celtic. Tackled firmly by Cameron, very quickly to the danger point. McStay put so much into this match, entitled to feel the strain now, I would say. That's Rowbottom. McNally's header. There's McNally again. McStay. That's one for Walker to chase, in behind Neary. And a slip again at a vital moment. Just couldn't stay on his feet there, Andy Walker, having engineered himself into a good shooting position.
Yeah, he's had a good game for Raith, hasn't he? He's kept himself in good nick and it shows.
And the half-time whistle goes in extra time. This match is still to be won. Quarter of an hour of action remaining before, if necessary, a penalty shootout. And don't leave, because you'll see it all here. So a quick turnaround, no time for the managers to become involved at this stage. Tremendous applause from the Raith Rovers fans on the far side and from the Celtic supporters. This is a final which has been widely appreciated, and correctly so. So the last period for the match to be won without the necessity for penalty kicks. Quarter hour to go. Boyd played it inside, lots of space here for Paul McStay. Needs some help again from Boyd. Faulkner did well, but again no one supporting him in the middle. Dennis has time to clear. Awkward that for Graham. Here's Rowbottom. Graham again, leaving that to Crawford. He's a very dangerous player with lots of running power. This is Gordon Dalziel. Back it comes to McInnesby. Crawford is still on the ground as this move continues. McInnesby wants some help. He gets it inside from Sinclair. That's for Cameron. Well held up by McNally. It was very good defending by Mark McNally. Still Crawford on the ground here as McStay goes past him. Faulkner. Might be cramp that Crawford's suffering from. The referee is holding the play anyway to ensure treatment for Crawford. Well, could that be cramp, I wonder? Certainly has covered miles this afternoon. So the referee giving some attention here. It certainly does appear to be cramp in the way he's being treated. But another good attack there came from Raith Rovers. Colin Cameron linking with David Sinclair in the middle of the field. Jimmy Nicholl entitled to be proud of his team. And they, I'm sure, appreciate his contribution to their efforts. Celtic supporters remain defiant, though. Really believe that the cup is still there to be won. So Crawford will remain on, at least for the moment. The physio, Jerry Doherty, goes off, has a word with Jimmy Nicholl. No doubt advising him whether or not there should be a change made. Sporting gesture made by Tom Boyd. That's Thompson. Depth provided again in defence by O'Neill. Here's Boyd. Good running by Faulkner. And good control. The driven ball to the far side. Rowbottom had to touch that. He couldn't take the chance. Well, he's looking at his teammates and suggesting there that he had no option but to play that behind. Corner taken by Galloway, straight to Crawford. There's McStay trying to make space for himself away from Cameron. He's succeeded, if he can stay on his feet, that is. Ball's out of play. It's a throw to Raith Rovers. Well, it's been a very long, tough afternoon for Tommy Barnes. Joy turning to despair inside 2 minutes just before the end of the 90 minutes. Nicholas putting Celtic ahead, and then Gordon Dalziel equalising. And more loose balls now being picked up by Raith Rovers players. It's quite remarkable. After being under the cosh for so much of the game. That's Sinclair. Losing out there in the middle of the field to Paul McStay. A very hefty late tackle there. Mike Galloway was the victim. The referee has a word with Jason Rowbottom at long range. The pace, not surprisingly, has dropped out of the match suddenly. Held it away by McInnesby. That was Mowbray. The angle cross goes in, and Raith Rovers survive again defensively. Dennis and Dare combining. Jason Dare doing well. That's Walker. Collins couldn't get a hold of that. Sinclair could. There's McNally with Yale putting him under pressure. That's good play by Marshall. Keeping his head, looking around there. Now Paul McStay. Collins on the touchline here. Couldn't get that beyond McInnesby though. Handball there by Boyd, not given. Here's Byrne. Well, Byrne had Mike Galloway and acres of space on the far side. He's having to apologise there. Celtic perhaps lucky to get away with that handball appeal after Tom Boyd won possession.
Yeah, in all fairness to Paul Byrne there, he could see the space, he could see the opportunity. The ball was sitting down nicely for him. He just didn't make a proper connection.
So there's Faulkner's layoff. Stumped away there by David Neary. And David Neary has just been named the Coca-Cola Man of the Match. And that's hard to argue with. He's been a tower of strength for Raith Rovers this afternoon. And I'm quite sure when he came to Starks Park, he didn't expect to be involved in a final again. So the last substitution is about to be made here. Ian Redford preparing for action. Last outfield one anyway. Here's Paul Byrne. Held up very, very well indeed by Sean Dennis. There's Rowbottom. Sinclair. A long run here for Rowbottom, who's done very well since he has replaced Julian Broddle. Careless one inside though, picked up easily by Brian O'Neill. That's Faulkner, holding the play up well. This is Collins. Boyd breaks on his left. Not enough on the pass though. Boyd trying to retrieve possession. Well, players now going down rather frequently. McInnesby struggling. Collins made the tackle. Well, now that's surprising that Raith Rovers are thinking about making a change before they see how bad McInnesby might be.
Well, I think they've changed their mind in actual fact. He's just waiting to see it as, because this is the stage of the game. Players are getting tired. This is when mistakes can happen. And really, it would be a tragedy if either team were to lose this game because of a mistake that's made at this stage.
McInnesby back in his feet. He'll want to remain there, and now the original change will be made. The captain, Gordon Dalziel, goes hurtling off. Well, he's worked himself into the ground this afternoon, the captain. Scored that crucial equalising goal. Now replaced by Ian Redford. So Redford at 34 on. He also has been a winner in the League Cup final for Rangers back in '81. Here's Graham, and now Dare. Late challenge there by Sinclair. Taking out two Celtic players, Collins and McStay. Well, he picks the ones with a pedigree, doesn't he? O'Neill's free kick. Faulkner challenging, getting up well to that. And Sean Dennis with a powerful clearance, tries to release Colin Cameron. Cameron's got into the attack beside Graham with Redford in midfield.
Yeah, and with his energy and ability, it might well just be at this stage against tired defenders, he might just cause a problem.
There's Rowbottom. Rowbottom again. Looking there for a chance for Dare. Wow, what a hero he could have been there. Having set up the equalising goal, Jason, there had a chance there, a difficult chance to win the match for Raith Rovers.
It's a superb pass from Jason Rowbottom. Look at that, he sends that 30-40 yards, look at that. Wasn't all that far from a connection.
There's McInnesby. Out of reach for Dare. Well, neither side, I'm sure, relishing the prospect of a penalty shootout. Raith Rovers have succeeded once already in the semi-final against Airdrie. Here's John Collins. Walker breaks wide. That's a good ball in. And Thompson did well at full stretch, getting that ball at his height. So just 5 minutes remaining of extra time.
It's a good run and cross by Andy Walker, but look at the goalkeeper. Once again, he comes confident to take that ball.
Graham backing in, trying to line up the layoff. Couldn't do that under pressure from Mowbray. Collins to Walker, that's for Boyd. McInnesby gets there first. Carry the ball out though, it's a throw to Celtic. Here's Walker, looking for Collins. McInnesby there first. Here's Galloway. Byrne offered himself inside, now goes outside. Still Galloway, he's impeded there on the way. There's a free kick to Celtic. Jason Rowbottom, the culprit. So can Celtic capitalise on this set piece? Tony Mowbray in the box. It's well won inside the area there by Graham, and a shot from McStay. Flies over the top. A little bit of fatigue there. You can see the strain in Paul McStay's face after all the effort he's put in this afternoon. It's not surprising.
Yeah, it's been a tremendous battle in midfield. Very interesting because McStay has worked so hard to get himself in the game. He's been opposed with Cameron and Crawford. They've also worked very hard. It's been a terrific midfield. You know, John Collins has been in there battling out. A lot of skill, a lot of ability. Tremendous.
Here's Redford looking for Cameron. Out comes Marshall. That's good play by Marshall. Found touch a long way up. Quite important he didn't give it away there when he was so far out of goal. Well, the penalty shootout, Billy. What goes through the minds of the players now?
I think at this stage of the game they'll still be looking to get that last minute winner. You know, both teams will be thinking that way, that perhaps it's going to be our day. We can just go up there and nick one just in the last couple of minutes. There's no comeback then.
2.5 minutes left before we face the cruelest finish of all for the losing side. Back it goes from Collins. That's Paul McStay. Paul Byrne is down at the moment as Boyd and McAnespie clash. McAnespie did well. Here's Jason Dare. Sinclair inside. Celtic effectively down to 10 men with Byrne out of the play. Well, Boyd allowed McAnespie to play that to give Celtic possession back. It's worked. But there will be a hold-up here to allow treatment for Paul Barnes. Even McAnespie's recovered extremely well from going down a few minutes ago as though he was struggling to survive.
In actual fact, young Stephen McAnespie stood up well to the task because it looked for a long spell as though Tommy Byrne was going to overrun him. Certainly Jimmy Nicholl made a good ploy. They put Stephen Crawford over there. They put Jason Dare over there to give a bit of position to the youngster. But he's recovered well and he's had a good game.
Well, it's been a day to remember, regardless of the outcome for these Raith Rovers supporters. So we're inside the final minute, a little bit of stoppage time perhaps. O'Neill just got a touch there. Here's McNally, forced to hurry. Turning that to safety. No one wants to be guilty of an error at this stage in the game. There would be no way back. So a throw to Celtic. Can they muster, or either side indeed, muster one final effort here to win the match? McAnespie did well. There's Sinclair. Forward come Raith Rovers again. They've had a very good extra time period, Raith Rovers. Redford giving chase. Marshall sorts it out for Celtic. Distance called for this time. With Murray Faulkner a target, losing out to Dennis, but the ball is picked up here by Byrne. And hooked away at the last ditch there by Dennis, who's had a very good match for Raith Rovers. With an injury time and extra time, penalties looming as Celtic come forward again. Is there to be a dramatic end? Charging run to the byline. And McAnespie forced to head that behind for the corner. Scarcely enough time for this to be taken. There was Galloway getting the byline, pulling that across extremely well. Byrne going for the in-swinger. Surely the last opportunity of the match. Helped on there toward the side netting. It is a goal kick. Mike Galloway was the player with the target. He wants a corner, he's not going to get one. And I suspect that will be the last attempt on goal until the penalty shootout. Referee Jim McCluskey checking his watch. And there it goes, the final whistle. It's a penalty shootout. Well, who would have expected or believed that? So there's the applause around the stadium. It's been terrific entertainment all afternoon. The ebb and flow of the match. Raith Rovers starting brightly, Celtic taking over. Then appeared to have won it 6 minutes from the end when Charlie Nicholas scored, until that terrific finish by Gordon Dalziel after Gordon Marshall parried Jason Dare's shot. And the extra time period very evenly fought, in fact, Billy. There was no suggestion that Raith Rovers were in any way out of things in that period.
Definitely not. If anything, they seem to be their team at the end up. Certainly one or two of them were down with cramp, but it never affected their play, and they kept being prepared to take the game to Celtic. In fact, I think they had more shots to goals in the latter period than they did early on. But this penalty shootout, I don't know. I don't fancy it. I would have preferred a replay.
Well, there speaks the player and the manager, but from the spectating point of view, it is riveting entertainment, that's for sure. They've had 120 minutes to sort this out without success, so a method has to be found, and this is certainly the way which has been producing incredible excitement in recent seasons. So Brian Potter there in the tracksuit was the hero in the semi-final shootout for Raith Rovers, but he now will no doubt be saying to Scott Thompson, it's your turn. So we'll be here right until the final is won. Now David Sinclair looking into the crowd, trying to avoid Jimmy Nichols' gaze perhaps, in case he's asked to take a penalty. Well, he's found whoever he's looking for. So all the organisation going on now as the managers decide who'll take the kicks, and then of course whichever end they're taking at will be populated by Celtic supporters. That was always a little bit of a worry, but the way the ticket apportionments were sorted out, it was inevitable really that there would be the one major stand, the Govan stand for Raith Rovers, and the other three stands devoted principally to Celtic supporters. So those who are not involved make their way from the playing field. Coin tossing going on again. Sean Dennis is the stand-in skipper now for Raith Rovers, with Gordon Dalziel off the field. It's certainly a lottery, there's no doubt about that, and it's a lottery of immense importance, particularly I think to Celtic. Well, a sea of green and white scarves at both ends. Raith Rovers trying to match that in the Govan stand, but now the referee completes the formalities, and it will be a first penalty to be taken, I think, by the new Raith Rovers captain Sean Dennis, replacing Gordon Dalziel. Scott Thompson will watch the first one. So it's Raith Rovers who'll be first, and should they score, it gives them a great edge, there's no doubt about that. So it's Sean Dennis, who scored once this season. Gordon Dalziel, the normal penalty taker, and he cannot be involved because he's been replaced. The referee has instructions for the goalkeepers to stay on the line. So 5 penalty kicks aside to sort this out, dealing which sudden death. So the noise growing for Sean Dennis and the Celtic supporters. Gordon Marshall on the line. Here's Sean Dennis. Scores with the first calmly. And that's a very important start for Raith Rovers. Give them a very important edge. Gordon Marshall guessing wrongly. Well, Willie Faulkner for Celtic. Scott Thompson in goal. Well, Raith Rovers are very accomplished in that penalty shootout against Airdrie. Scored all 5. And here's Willie Faulkner, the very important task for Celtic. Calmly finished. Sense of relief for the player who scores. And once again, the goalkeeper deceived by the run-up. And this time, it'll be Jason Dare for Raith Rovers. A young man who's 20 years old, who's very good shot at goal 4 minutes from the end of the 90 minutes. Was parried by Gordon Marshall, and Gordon Dalziel scored the equaliser. Here comes Dare. Not too convincing, but he scored. Now Gordon Marshall chewing pensively in his gum there. Oh, he's very close to that one. Now John Collins. Well, he's certainly a player full of scoring confidence. Scott Thompson, the keeper. And confirmation will be here until the end. Here's Collins. Well, 2 goals apiece. He'll be taking penalty by Collins. Well, very high quality penalty kick. The next one will be taken by, well, one of the men of the match for me, Colin Cameron. The little man from Sligo Rovers, 22 years old. You can feel the tension inside the stadium here at Ibrox. And it's a great penalty again. Hit very crisply and very accurately. Gordon Marshall going the right way this time, but the pace and the accuracy beat him. And the next one will be taken by Andy Walker, who scored the first goal for Celtic to equalise the earlier effort from Stevie Crawford. Andy Walker, no stranger to penalties. He's done it. No chance at all for Thompson. Relief for Andy Walker. The responsibility on a player to miss here is enormous. And now one false move could end the chances of one team. Stevie Crawford scored the opening goal. Beautifully struck with his right foot. So, Gordon Marshall on the line. And again, played pretty straight, but past the feet of Gordon Marshall. Again, the goalkeeper quite close to that, but couldn't get his hand down quickly enough. Stevie Crawford indicating that his heart was beating rather quickly there. Now it's Paul Byrne for Celtic. Oh, it's very well taken. And now it is effectively sudden death. Paul Byrne is relieved. Very well taken, deceiving the keeper. So all 8 penalty kicks so far have hit the net. And this is Stephen McInnesby, another 22-year-old. Tommy Burns can hardly bear to watch. The power was there. Gordon Marshall had no chance at all there. This one thundered home. And now the responsibility rests on Mike Galloway for Celtic. If he misses, Raith Rovers have won the Coca-Cola Cup. This is the 10th penalty kick. The tension virtually unbearable, I'm sure, for Galloway. Well, heart failure, I suspect, in the Celtic camp there. The ball has gone in, but only just. The goalkeeper got a hand to that. With enough pace in the ball, though. Oh, what a relief for Galloway. So now we're into the extra men who really weren't the first choices for these. Jason Robot on the substitute comes forward. Bedlam all around Ibrox. Jimmy Nicholl looking on calmly and impassively, but what's going on inside his mind, I wonder. Here's Rowbottom, the Welshman. No mistake, and the edge provided by taking the first is substantial. 6-5 to Celtic. And it's the skipper, Paul McStay, will take the next for Celtic as that one goes flying past Gordon Marshall. Here's Paul McStay, who played in the side which won in 1982 with Charlie Nicholas and Tommy Burns, the manager. Unthinkable, surely, for the skipper to miss. But he has! Raith Rovers have won the Coca-Cola Cup! It's quite amazing. Jimmy Nicholl congratulated all around. So too is Scott Thompson. It was Brian Potter in the semi-final. Now it's despair for Paul McStay, consoled by his teammates. It's a tragedy that one of these players has to suffer this despair, but it's Raith Rovers who won the shootout by 6 penalties to 5. Scott Thompson emulates his young reserve teammate Brian Potter, and Raith Rovers have won the Coca-Cola Cup. For Celtic, it's dejection. 5.5 years is the last trophy. That sequence continues, and yet there were only 4 minutes from victory in the 90 minutes. Scott Thompson salutes the Raith Rovers supporters on the far side. And who would have believed this? Here's the save, which has won the cup for Raith Rovers. A brilliant effort from Scott Thompson. Paul McStay, the unlucky player, running up here in determined fashion. Did it pretty well, but the goalkeeper guessed right and moved quickly. And poor Paul McStay watches the Raith Rovers celebrations.
What's the reaction? The tears in your eyes, unbelievable.
I know, look at him, speechless, I can't say.
The tears are in your eyes, how do you feel? The finest moment of your football, your life?
Yes.
The finest moment?
Yes.
Enjoy it.
Well, Jimmy Nicholl there, almost overcome with the emotion of the occasion. It's been incredible there. Jimmy Nicholl, when that goal went in, or when the save was made by Scott Thompson. And here's a look at Jimmy Nicholl. Scott Thompson going to make the save from Paul McStay. And there's the reaction. There's the reaction of Jimmy Nicholl.
Jason, you came on, what was it like to come into this?
It's fantastic, dream come true really. Everyone I looked for, it's a dream come true.
You're very... Julian, what about that? The whole party, it's unbelievable.
I just can't believe what's happening here, you know. We're now in Europe, it's unbelievable, such a small club can do such great a thing as this. To beat Celtic in such a superb stadium, it's just something else.
The tears were in the manager's eyes, a few of the boys here.
There's a few of them with tears. It's just something we've dreamed about as we've progressed, and to actually happen, it's so untrue.
And perhaps a moment of sympathy for Paul McStay.
Well, you've got to finish in this sort of way. It's got to be finished somehow, but I feel sorry for Paul because I would want to take a penalty.
Julian, congratulations.
Oh, thanks, Jake. Thanks very much.
So that was Julian Broddle, the Raith Rovers left back, and an Englishman up here enjoying this occasion. And sympathy expressed for Paul McStay. Little wonder David Nairn gets his third winner's medal, 2 for Dundee United, and 1 now for Raith Rovers.
Ali Graham, how does it feel?
I can't believe it, I'm going to burst into tears. I think Jimmy Nicholl's already burst into tears. This is absolutely unbelievable, I just can't believe it.
What about that penalty shootout? Were you able to watch? Were you able to watch it?
I was, but I mean, I was really nervous. I think I was next up, and I didn't want to take a penalty, and I must admit I prayed to God just for to miss it.
When Celtic scored their second goal, did you think it was all over?
Well, that was it again. I mean, if we'd done it, we'd come back against them, you know, so unbelievable.
Well done, Ali.
Thanks.
So the losers' medals being presented to these disconsolate Celtic players. They funneled through. They'll want to leave this ground as quickly as they can. They certainly won't want to be around much longer. A game which they dominated for long spells after the opening 20 minutes or so has slipped away from them. A moment of a lapse in concentration perhaps towards the end after going in front, and they paid the ultimate penalty here. But now the moment which These travelling supporters from Kirkcaldy could never have believed what happened. They came in 1949 to play in a final against Rangers and lost. And here's their first trophy win coming up. These medals being presented now to the officials, the match officials. And the trophy will be presented by Mrs. Penny Hughes, who is the president of Coca-Cola. And she is now about to hand this trophy to Gordon Dalziel, who's back in position as captain of Raith Rovers. It's a fairy tale end. There's no question about that. Mrs. Penny Hughes hands the trophy to Gordon Dalziel, and the Govan stand erupts. So the players receiving the trophy: Ali Graham, rejected by Motherwell, biggest signing for Raith Rovers. Then Julian Broydell there, number 3. Young Stephen McInespy, the right back, who had such a torrid time early on from Tom Boyd. David Sinclair, who changed position in the second half so effectively. Then to Jason Dare, who set up the equalising goal before the end. Stevie Crawford, who scored the first, the 20-year-old for Raith Rovers. And then Jason Robotham, a very effective substitute. And a huge moment there for Ian Redford, a winner before for Rangers. And coming on there towards the end, there's the hero who saved the penalty, Scott Thompson. Well, they're savouring every second of this, these travelling supporters from Kirkcaldy. They couldn't have dared hope this could happen. Sean Dennis was a hero, little Colin Cameron there, number 10. And David Neary, the man of the match, collects the trophy also. So the photographers crowding around Gordon Dalziel and his teammates. Jimmy Nicholl is talking to Chick Young.
Jimmy, I have to say that you're still shaking a leaf. The emotion's unbelievable here.
Well, I know that. I still can't talk. I mean, it means so much to everybody concerned, and at the same time I feel sorry for Paul McStay and Celtic Football Club, but I can't take away from the effort the lads put in today.
You're in Europe, that's the cold fact of life at this time.
And I said before, it's laughable the thought of us, and I'm laughing. Of course, I'll be laughing for the next 5-6 days, don't worry about that.
You'll never forget. You've been through it all with Rangers, Northern Ireland, Manchester United. How does this compare?
There's absolutely no comparison. No comparison. I mean, but looking at the performance in general, I thought we started well. 2-1 down, and thought, oh, here we go. And the way they got themselves back in the game, and I can't speak highly enough of them. Martin Harvey, everybody concerned with the club. Delighted for everybody.
Jimmy, one word, they'll be dancing in the streets of Raith tonight.
Chicken dancing, whatever you want to do, I'll be doing it. I'll be doing it. Thank you.
Well, the only lower league side to win this before Raith Rovers was East Fife back in 1947 when they beat Falkirk 4-1 to win this trophy. Billy, a remarkable afternoon.
Yes, it has been, and it's been a marvellous achievement by Raith Rovers, but I'm delighted for Jimmy Nicholl. I think his preparation for the final was ideal, that he set out to tell people that he was out to enjoy himself, but secretly he was planning very, very positively, and his team responded magnificently to him. And at the end of the day, I don't like to see anybody losing in a penalty shootout, but all credit to Raith, and they'll certainly enjoy themselves tonight.
Evidence there that fairy tales come true. Back to Dougie Donnelly.
Yes, the 1994 Coca-Cola Cup final, encompassing the triumph and the tragedy of sport. The triumph, the sheer exhilaration of these Raith Rovers players. Scott Thompson, the goalkeeper, who saved the vital penalty. Jimmy Nicholl, overcome with emotion. And the tragedy, for Paul McStay in particular, the utter heartbreak of seeing Celtic's long, trophyless run continuing. That's what it's all about. And Ali, Jimmy Nicholl is a great friend of yours, I know, a former teammate. You obviously feel a great deal for him at this moment.
Oh, without a doubt. I think we saw it there, judging by his reaction when Chick tried to interview him. He's absolutely overcome. He said it's one of the finest moments in his football career, and he's had some career, believe me, Dougie. And for him to say that, it obviously means a lot to him. He's got to be proud of his team today. They battled and fought for every ball. And when it went to the penalty shootout, it's ended his game. And unfortunately for Paul, the goalkeeper Scott Thompson, who I thought had a smashing afternoon, he pulled off a great save there, and the cup's on its way to Kirkcaldy. It's just unbelievable. I can't believe it myself.
Craig, your old teammates, you're obviously delighted for them.
Yeah, I've no nails left here, sitting here. Delighted for them. Obviously, everybody involved at the club, everybody connected, support-wise, and obviously the players. Look at them, delighted for them. A lot of them are ex-teammates, and dream come true for them. Absolutely wonderful stuff. Every one of them.
The penalty shootout. I mean, we sat here, as I'm sure everyone at Ibrox did, and everyone watching at home, the sheer drama and tension of it, it's almost unbearable.
It is unbearable. I mean, as you said, the three of us were sitting here and we could hardly watch. It was incredible. So I don't know how the players going up to take the penalties were feeling. It's down to nerve at the last minute, and the Rovers lads stuck their penalties away well. Gordon Marshall didn't have a save from any of them. And unfortunately for Paul will be devastated, but it's just one of these things. It's
every professional, everyone who loves football, I'm sure, will feel something for Paul McStay, Craig, won't they?
Without a doubt. But first of all, it was a great exhibition of penalties. I'm afraid somebody had to obviously miss one, and afraid Paul was the unlucky one.
It'll be no consolation to Paul that he was probably Celtic's best player in the day as well.
Absolutely.
And that's the way it turned. The irony of the whole thing's unbelievable.
But it's what cup football is all about, that overused cliche, that's what it's all about. This is what it's all about. The little team, if you like, the team from Kirkcaldy with 10,000 fans through here for a day they'll never forget. They have beaten the mighty Celtic, the Premier Division opposition.
Of course they have. I mean, we say cup games are great levelers, Dougie, and it's certainly the case because it's a one-off, it's extra time, 90 minutes, and Raith fancy their chances, there's no doubt about it. It doesn't matter who you're playing. In a one-off game, you must fancy yourself as having a little chance. Raith, under Jimmy Nicholl, Jimmy had them so psyched up, it was unbelievable there, and I just can't believe the result. It's incredible.
The implications for Celtic, Craig, one has to say, this was the match they had to win. We said before the game they couldn't afford to lose. They have lost it.
They have, but they'll just have to buckle down and get on with things. There's obviously the Scottish Cup coming up, and still a long way to go in the league, but I thought it was a great spectacle for Scottish football there today. Great final, end-to-end stuff, and four good goals. Great stuff.
When Celtic scored, Charlie scored with about 6 minutes to go, we thought that was it. We thought we could pack our bags and go home. And then they get the break and Gordon Dell scored the equaliser, and then you're thinking, can you go anyway here?
It was the game that had virtually everything. But at the end of it all, it's the dream that comes true. For Jimmy Nicholl and for his Raith Rovers side, after a 2-each draw after 90 minutes and a goalless extra time period, the cup finally goes to Raith Rovers after that dramatic penalty shootout. It really has been a remarkable afternoon here at Ibrox. I hope you've enjoyed it with us. From us all, goodbye.